The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to see and test drive the all-new LTD and Mustang. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Firestone, makers of the new steel-belted Radio 721. Ask a friend about Firestone.
Welcome to Atlanta Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia for this afternoon's NFC battle matching the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber along with Johnny Unitas. Falcons coming off a big emotional high. Boy, they went after the Rams Monday night, didn't they?
One outstanding defensive football games by the Falcons, Frank, and we're looking forward to another one this afternoon.
San Francisco still trying to ride with O.J. Simpson, but Juice has had some problems this year.
Juice is really not playing up to his capabilities, not having an outstanding year like we're used to him having. And I think one of the reasons is that Candlestick Park out there, that hard turf. He doesn't like to run on the hard turf. He'll find his field this afternoon more to his liking.
As far as Atlanta goes, they've got perhaps the most famous ex-bartender in the Western Hemisphere now, and Tim Mazzetti. 5 field goals, counted for all the points against the Rams.
Well, he's going for his 8th consecutive this afternoon, and, you know, he beat the 49ers the first ball game right in the waning moments of the football game, 20-17 with his first kick.
And you mentioned the new coach. What effect do you think he'll have?
Well, he's a nervous young man this afternoon. I had the field glasses on him earlier this afternoon while they were having the pregame workout down there, and he's nervous and jittery. This is his first chance of being a head coach here for the San Francisco 49ers. We're looking forward to him doing a good job.
We're ready now for the opening kickoff of this afternoon's battle between the 49ers, who are 1-8, and the Atlanta Falcons, 5-4, and Atlanta feels they're right in the thick of things in the NFC Western Division race. And there is Steve Bartkowski. Operating, of course, with that slight separated left shoulder. It'll be a question as far as how effective he'll be. The big cheers for this young man, Tim Mazzetti. He's hit 7 out of his last 7 field goals, had his first one blocked 2 weeks ago against the 49ers. Kick coming down to Paul Hofer at the 6-yard line. Back to the 15, 20. Across the 25, out to the 28-yard line. Moriarty made the tackle. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the San Francisco 49ers. Return of 22 yards as you look at the officiating crew headed by Fred Silva. Big game for the Falcons, who have won 3 in a row. That's their longest win streak since 1973. They won 5 in a row that year. That was their most successful year ever. They went 9-5 and still didn't make the playoffs. Young Steve DeBerg, second-year quarterback, who has 19 interceptions on the season. Tops in the NFC, completes his throw. He doesn't either. Ken McAfee, the tight end, had his hands on it and then was hit hard by Frank Reed. And one thing about this Atlanta defense, as you saw Monday, probably they come after you. The San Francisco backfield, Simpson and Farrell joining DeBerg. The receivers, Elmore Boyd, Freddie Solomon, and McAfee, who alternate with Paul Seal at tight end. The San Francisco offensive line dotted with rookies. Both the starting guards are rookies for San Francisco. It's 2nd down 10. DeBerg's really got him a baptism under fire this season. Freddie Solomon starts in motion to the right side, and on the delay, handoff goes to Farrell, and Farrell is caught at the 28 by Robert Pennywell. Pennywell, an interesting story in that he was an original 49er draft choice, cut by the 49ers a couple of years ago, eventually picked up by the Falcons. This is the Atlanta defensive front 4. Jeff Yates took the place of Claude Humphrey when Claude decided to retire at midseason. Excellent set of linebackers here. And the Atlanta secondary, one of the tops in all of professional football. Lawrence, one of the top interceptors in the game, had 2 last Monday night. 3rd down and 9. 49ers first possession of the afternoon. Capacity crowd of 60,000 on hand, and Farrell takes the handoff, gets out to the 32. Nowhere near the yardage necessary for the 4th down, and Pennywell again in on the stop, and the 49ers will punt.
We get a shot of it from the end zone. We see Farrell taking the handoff from DeBerg, and there's that ever-present defensive football team of the Falcons there to stop him. 4th down and punting situation for the 49ers.
Mike Connell, one of 15 rookies on the San Francisco squad, will do the punting. Billy Rickman is the deep man for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of first and second year men on this San Francisco team. They started the year with 23 players with 2 years and less experience. Falcons playing return all the way. Rickman gets bumped. And that will be fair catch interference, or interference with the receiver. Dave Williams, number 30, was down there, and he hit him before he had a chance to catch the ball.
There's a mistake by one of the defenders coming down. He has to locate that ball and know where the ball is at all times. That was just a mistake by Williams, and not knowing where the football was, running into the receiver. Something you don't like to have happen.
That's a 15-yarder and gives the Falcons excellent field position at the 50 on their first offensive possession.
33-yard punt that time.
First down.
First and 10 for Atlanta from midfield. Steve Bartkowski, the quarterback. He has guided Atlanta to 4 wins in their last 5 outings. Made an amazing recovery from that slight shoulder separation. Of course, it was on his left side, not on his throwing side, so that does make a difference. Haskell Standback, number 24, into the middle of the line. He plays the backfield with Bubba Bean. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our broadcast, or rather of our audience, in any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down, Falcons need 8 for the first down. They're at the San Francisco 48-yard line. Early moments of the ball game, no score. Bartkowski lost his starting job at the start of the season to June Jones, then got it back. Here's Bartkowski's first throw, rushes on, near sideline, intended for Standback at the 25, but he was triple teamed down there.
Frank, the big thing I think is what the offensive line of the Falcons going to be able to do. So far this season, the quarterbacks from the Falcons have been sacked 35 times, and they are leading the league in that. That's one of them you'd rather not lead the league in, and that's probably one of the reasons we've had so many quarterbacks hurt. Bartkowski's been hurt off and on throughout his career, and he was hurt again last Monday night against the Los Angeles Rams. So they're going to have to do a job to hold these fellows out so he can throw the football.
Third down, 9. Let's call it 9, as the ball is actually on the 49-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. As Bartkowski, long count play, drops back into the pocket. Bullet over the middle, out of the reach of the intended receiver, who was Wallace Francis, number 89. And the Falcons will have to punt. Eddie Lewis was back there defending.
Wallace Francis ran an excellent pattern that time. There's no reason that Bartkowski should have missed him. He came across the middle wide open. Bartkowski's throw was just a little in front of him.
Here's one of the NFL's best punters, John James. You talk about putting it out of bounds inside the 20. He is one of the premier guys in the game in that category, and that's a situation we may be looking at here. Now, the Falcons are looking at a 49er defense that has 8 men on the line of scrimmage, and they've got 3 men deep for the kick, standing at about the 10. That's an unusual receiving formation. They indicate offhand they're playing return all the way. This bounces at the 5 and goes on into the end zone. So the 49ers will get it back at the 20-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. Still early in the football game. No score. San Francisco nothing, Atlanta nothing.
I'm John Kelly, a tire engineer, and this is the Firestone 721 radio. A tire we have so much confidence in, we're backing every 721 sold for the rest of this year with this guarantee. If a Firestone 721 becomes unserviceable within 2 years because of defects in workmanship or materials, we'll replace it free. Only road hazard and in-service abuse are excluded. The Firestone 721, we're so confident we guarantee them for 2 full years.
Introducing a new American road car. The all-new Ford LTD for $79, with more front seat room, more rear seat room, more window area, and more handling ease than last year's LTD. Plus the power of a V8 engine standard. A road car to take you across town or across the country.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
To test drive the all-new LTD on your own roads, see your Ford dealer today.
12 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the opening period. San Francisco nothing, Atlanta nothing. 49ers in white with the football at their 20-yard line. First and 10 following the first exchange of punts of the afternoon. Freddie Solomon sent in motion. Straight handoff to Simpson. Something went out of that pileup 10 yards back of the line of scrimmage, and it turned out to be the helmet of Bob Farrell. Better than his head, I guess.
All right, DeBerg on the handoff. Simpson right up through the middle. There he is following his offensive guard and takes a real good shot by Robert Pennywell.
Simpson is the number 7 rusher in the NFC, coming in with 578 yards on the year. 3.7 average. That's below his expected average. DeBerg with the fake into the middle, and Simpson dropped it at the 27-yard line. And O.J. gets a few hoots from the Atlanta fans here.
Frank, that's 2 drop balls already, one by Simpson and one by the outside receiver on the first play of the ball game. Both of them should have been caught.
DeBerg threw 3 more interceptions last week in Washington, so his season total now is 19. That's tops in the NFC, but not tops in the NFL. Of all people, Ken Stabler, the quarterback across the bay, leads the league with 20 interceptions. Good hard running by Farrell, who picks up the first down out to the 32 to the 33-yard line. Bob Farrell, who has beaten out Greg Boykin for that running back position.
There's Farrell on the run. Look at the defense there, a real swarming type defense. You should have never missed those tackles. That's unlike the Falcons. Wilson Faminina, is that the way we pronounce that?
Wilson Faminina.
Faminina. He's the son of a Samoan war chief, is that right?
How'd you know that?
Well, written right here, I think.
First and 10, San Francisco at its 34-yard line. Simpson tripped up. No gain. That reminds me of an old Pappy Waldorf story. Remember Pappy Waldorf? He used to coach out.
Oh, you're a lot older than I am.
Yeah, he used to coach at Northwestern. Somebody was asking him about the officials at the ball game, and the guy said, this one official's got to be a good official because he's the son of a bishop. And Pappy says they all are. 34-yard line.
Oh,
second and 10.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Freddie Solomon in motion. DeBerg with good protection. Overthrows the intended receiver. Elmo Boyd. We got a flag at the 50-yard line.
That flag was a little late coming, too.
That was what you call your delayed penalty.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Tom Pridemore, the rookie safety of the Falcons, flagged for pass interference, and that gives the 49ers a first down at their 48. There's Pridemore, one of 2 rookies in the Atlanta starting lineup. San Francisco has 6 rookie starters. 4 of them are on offense. Couple on defense. Again, Solomon going in motion. And Farrell taking the handoff. Gets into Atlanta territory to about the 47-yard line. Farrell, we understand, may get a little more work than usual because O.J.'s knee has been acting up on him a bit in practices last week.
Well, as we mentioned, he doesn't like to run on that hard surface at the Candlestick. This field would be more to his liking than anything else. Farrell's been having a good season. O.J. really hasn't. Farrell right now is 20 yards for 4 carries, 5-yard average.
I think I'd let him carry it too.
I would too. I think what we'll see down as we get further down the field, you'll find that the Falcons are probably going to start blitzing a little bit more than what they have, as we saw on Monday night against the Rams.
On 2nd and 4, Simpson takes the handoff from DeBerg. Nice cut back in for the first down at the 39-yard line of Atlanta. Tom Pridemore, the safety, coming up to make the stop. O.J. thought they should have had more.
Well, the old O.J. may have gotten more. Let's take a look at it as we see O.J. following Farrell, number 38, puts a real fine block right there on Fulton Kuykendall. And you see he cuts back. His foot really goes out from underneath him. Tom Pridemore, number 27, making the tackle.
All right, now 49ers have put together 3 straight first downs in this drive, which has reached the Atlanta Falcon 40-yard line. No score. Still in the first period. Steve DeBerg, sideline throw. He's got Freddie Solomon, and Solomon is ripped out of bounds by his jersey at the 32-yard line by Roland Lawrence.
And we have a blitz coming on this play, but it's picked up very well as we see DeBerg step back. There's the throw. There's the tackle, pulled out. Outbounds by Roland Lawrence.
The other night against the Rams, the Falcons blitzed 2/3 of the time. That's an unbelievable percentage, something you can't do certainly in every football game. So obviously they're going to change it up a little. Second down, a long 2 for the first down. Falcons driving at the 32. It is Farrell. Slipped and fell. Looked like he had it made until he slipped. Now it's going to be close, I think. Lawrence made the tackle, but that was only a second down play.
St. Louis has gone ahead of the New York Giants 7-0 in the first quarter. Jim Hart, 5-yard pass to Al Chandler. St. Louis is on a 1-game win streak.
That's a first down, number 4 for the San Francisco 49ers in this drive. Ball is spotted at the 27-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Boyd is wide to the left side. Freddie Solomon is flanked to the right. Again, Farrell taking the handoff around the right side and hustled out of bounds at about the 20 by Frank Reed. Marker down. See if we got a late hit here. Face mask against Atlanta. Well, that's 2 major penalties against the Falcons, which have aided this San Francisco drive. 2 penalties for a total of 29 yards. First down at the 15.
On the tackle, number 28, face mask, 5 yards, first down.
Frank Reed, the strong safety, number 28, with the face mask penalty. So now the Falcons defense is going to have to dig in. First and 10, San Francisco at the 15-yard line. Atlanta crowd comes alive. Fake into the middle, and DeBerg having to hang on to the football. Takes it down to about the 12. Again, it was Reed on the stop.
It looked like a broken play down there, Frank. If you see, Green Bay has gone ahead of Philadelphia 3-0 in the first quarter. Chester Marcon, a 42-yard field goal.
There's Fred O'Connor, the new head coach of the 49ers, 4th head coach, as a matter of fact, they've had in a couple of years.
Makes him the youngest head football coach in the game at 39 years old.
Second down 7. Double tight end setup for the 49ers. They have McAfee and they have Seals both in there. Farrell, nice hold over the middle, and he's down to about the 5. Oh, they're opening him up. Wilson Fomenino making the tackle.
Let's take a look as we see the defensive line commit themselves to an inside move. There's Farrell going up the middle. An arm tackle missed right there. Frank Reed, number 27, finally bringing him down.
Just short of the first down. Going to be third down. It looks like a matter of inches for the 49ers to pick up the first down, and a little more than 5 yards for the touchdown, as Farrell has now carried 7 times for 36 yards. Close enough for measurement. They're about 1.5 feet short. Have to reach that 5-yard stripe to pick up the first down. So a big play now in this drive for both sides. No score. 6 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the first period. Simpson and Farrell lining up behind Steve DeBerg, the second-year quarterback who saw no action last year. I don't know.
Going to be awful close, Frank. They've already had one out of 2 third down conversions, I believe.
Bobby Farrell on the bottom of that pile. And let's see where they spot it. Looks like it still may be a little bit short, which would bring up 4th down. See if it's close enough for measurement. Well, what do you do here? Do you take the field goal? If you don't make it?
I would think you'd go for the field goal here, put some points on the board. You'd like to get down. If you can, get it. If not, then you'd go for the field goal. But let's see what the new coach has to say.
Well, the new field goal, it is not going to be the field goal, John. That's what it's not going to be. He wants to get some momentum going, so he's put Simpson back in the game. He was out for 1 play. Hofer was in there. Listen to this crowd now.
This would be a big play for the Falcons if they can hold them here. It would certainly take a little bit of the steam out of the offensive line of the 49ers.
4th down and a foot. Crowd is on its feet. Early in the game, quarterback sneak by Steve DeBerg. It looks like he made it. DeBerg on the quarterback sneak. It would appear to be a 1st and goal to go. San Francisco. This drive started back at the 20-yard line. It would be first down number 5 in this drive. It is a first down. Now 1st and goal to go.
49ers have really been hurting themselves all year on turnovers. In their last 3 ball games, they've turned it over 14 times, 8 fumbles and 5 interceptions. So this could be a crucial area down here for the 49ers.
Simpson to about the 3-yard line before he shoved back. O.J. coming into the season needed about a little bit short of 2,200 yards to become the all-time leading rusher in the history of the National Football League. So a couple of 1,000-yard years is what he needs. He's got 578 coming in. Time out here for the injury to the 49ers tackle John Ayers, number 68, who was hurting a bit coming into this game. There was some question as to whether or not he was going to be able to start, as he was injured last week against the Washington Redskins. 5 minutes, 22 seconds left to play in the opening period. There is no score. San Francisco nothing, Atlanta nothing. Fred O'Connor, who started in pro football as an assistant with Jack Pardee in the World Football League. Didn't get paid much, but had a good time down in Florida with the old Florida, I forget what they called them.
Orlando Blazers, I believe is what it was. He got all the oranges he wanted to eat, though.
That's true.
Instead of getting paid.
Then he went with Jack to Chicago, coached the offense up there. Of course, had a hand in coaching people like Walter Payton. And then when Pardee went to Washington last year, O'Connor went west to San Francisco. And lo and behold, halfway through the season, he finds himself a head coach. 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Straight power, and the Falcons were ready for it. Greg Boykin, number 33, who had just come into the ballgame. One-time New Orleans Saint. Good defensive charge.
Watch the defensive taking control of the offensive line right there. As you see the Falcons just moving them back off the line. And if you're going to score down there, the offensive line has to have the penetration first. Make the fellas get back, knock them back. Robert Pennywell on the tackle, number 59. They have to have that movement off that ball, Frank, in order to get in the end zone.
3rd down, goal to go. Ball just outside the 1-yard line. DeBerg wants to throw it, and he's got Boykin wide open, and Boykin couldn't hold it. Greg Boykin was wide open at the flag and dropped it.
Let's take a look as we see DeBerg on a fake of a running play. There he is, wide open. The ball hits him right in the arms. It goes right through his hands. So far, he's 1 completion out of 5 attempts for a net of 7 yards. That ball should have been caught. But Frank, the sun is coming right over the rim of the stadium. It could have that he lost the ball in the sun.
4th down, still a yard needed for the touchdown. And this time, the 49ers say we'll take the field goal under these circumstances. Ray Wersching has been very accurate this year. 20-yard attempt. Falcons, one of the best kick-blocking teams in the league. This one is good. And San Francisco, after a long, ball-consuming drive, gets on the scoreboard first with 4 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the opening period. 49ers 3, Falcons nothing.
Welcome, everybody, to the light beer battle of the big guys. And there they are, 2 teams locked in mortal combat to decide the eternal argument over light beer from Miller. On one side, the big guys who think the best thing about light is it tastes great.
Yeah, it tastes great. Tastes great.
On the other side, the big guys who think the best thing about light is it has a third less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling.
Less filling. Less filling.
I feel strongly both ways.
I tell you, this is really no respect. Blue is the violet and red is the rose. You don't pull them or break your nose.
The tension here is almost unbearable.
Oh, you guys.
They can't go on much longer. Something big has got to happen soon. Holy cow, look at that.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, dolls.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I still don't know why they asked me to do this commercial.
This Sunday on Kaz.
There's been an inmate takeover at your old prison. The prisoners have asked for you to be a go-between.
We'll find out which side you're on. I'm one of you!
Frank Lieber along with Johnny Unitas back at Atlanta Stadium as you look at Dennis Pearson, number 81, deep man in the kickoff receiving formation. He's a rookie wide receiver. And Ray Wershing, who just put the first points of the ball game up on the board, kicking off for San Francisco. Nice high deep kick, going to be taken instead by George Franklin at the goal line, out to the 10. Franklin to the 15, 20, 30, run out of bounds finally at about the 35. Franklin, formerly a high draft choice of the St. Louis Cardinals, picked up by the Falcons. It was Wershing who kicked off, who finally had to make the tackle. There's the book on the 49ers scoring drive. Consumed almost 8 minutes of the first period, better than half the first quarter. They had 5 first downs in that drive. 33 yards on the kickoff return, 1st and 10, Atlanta. Falcons are at their 33. That's where the officials put the ball in play. Steve Bartkowski handing off to Bubba Bean. Bain is out to the 35 for a pickup of 2. Here's the San Francisco front 4. Archie Reese replacing the injured Cleveland Elam, who's had his problems. Reese was in on that last tackle. Linebacking crew headed by Dan Bunz, middle linebacker who they are really high on in San Francisco. They think he can be the next great middle linebacker in the game. Another Dick Butkus. And the 49ers secondary. 2nd down, 8. Falcons at their 35-yard line, trailing 3-0. Bubba Bean goes on the flank off to the right-hand side, setting up the double wing, handoff to Standback to about the 38-yard line. Cedric Hardman, number 86, made the stop. Here's another score for you. Seattle jumping on Chicago.
Sherman Smith on a 1-yard run, putting Seattle ahead, and Chicago's been heavy. Everybody's been jumping on Chicago. We heard by way of the headset.
Yes, as a matter of fact. They have had their problems. Won their first 3 ball games, including a victory out at San Francisco against the 49ers, and then they've had nothing but problems. Timeout being called by the Falcons. They'll have a 3rd down 4 upcoming from their 39-yard line as Steve Bartkowski, 1975, the number 1 draft choice in the entire National Football League out of the University of California, but beset by injuries, comes over to talk to his coach, Lehman Bennett.
You give a man a couple of days to himself and a Black & Decker workmate, and there's almost nothing he can't do. You can pound on it, saw on it, hammer on it, and sand on it. The sturdy vice jaws do the holding for you. You can clamp on it, paint on it, cut a shape on it, drive a screw on it. There's almost nothing you can't do. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Take any razor available in America. Now there's an electric shaver that will shave as close or your money back. The Remington XLR. Remington can guarantee a close shave because of our unique 3-part system. The first head shaves close, the second closer. The exclusive Intercept cutter is designed to shave longer hairs. The Remington XLR. It shaves as close as a blade or your money back. Available at over 1,300 Kmart stores across the USA.
I'm Lynn Swan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I hope you'll do it the American way on Election Day. Go to the polls on Tuesday and vote for the candidate of your choice.
Falcons 3rd and 4 at their 39 as they break the huddle.
Falcons have had 7 yards total offense. They have not had a first down this afternoon.
Rickman is wide to the right side. That's Wallace Francis, number 89, in motion. Bartkowski looking. Overthrown, intended for Francis. And what you're going to hear is a few boos for Mr. Bartkowski, and soon the fans will be clamoring, no doubt, for June Jones, who came off the bench the other night, did such a good job.
Frank, Bartkowski looks like he's just going one way, picking out his receiver before coming out of the huddle and decide to go with him and just stays right with him. He never comes back to the weak side at all or looks for an alternate receiver. He's going to have to start doing that sometime in his career if he's going to get any better.
James back to do the punting. This time the 49ers have 10 men on the line of scrimmage, 1 deep man, and that's Larry Jones, number 87. James' 2nd punt of the afternoon. First one went for 48 yards. Pretty good rush, but he gets it away. High kick, fair catch is signaled by Jones, and then Jones lets it bounce. I don't know if it hit him or not. Let's see who got it. Falcons came up with a football, and apparently it did hit Jones, so it'll be a first down Atlanta at the 27-yard line. Dewey McClain, number 52, is down there quickly. Here it is again.
We got a very good hang by James on the ball, and there you see the footing has just gone out from underneath him. That punt was hit for 31 yards, and that's a mistake you don't like to have happen, but unfortunately the receiver's foot just went up from underneath him, and the ball hit him on the leg. Falcons recover, and it's first and 10.
That is the 36th turnover that the 49ers have allowed this year. They had 35 in 9 games coming in, which is an unbelievable average, and one big reason why they're 1-8. Stand back in motion. Bartkowski looks to the near sideline, goes to Jim Mitchell, the tight end. First down at the 15-yard line. Joe Harris, 49er linebacker, rides him out of town and has a few words with Mitchell.
There's Jim Mitchell. Well, I think one of the finest tight ends in the game. He's not playing up to his way he usually is. He's been around a long time. He's been beset with injuries, but he still is a tremendous tight end to throw to on those short yardage situations, and also the first and 10s where you can just pop him and let him run with the football. He's like having another big fullback back there once he gets the football.
Nose of the football is just outside the 15-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. That's the first down that the Falcons have picked up in the ballgame.
Also the first pass completion.
Stand back inside the 10 to the 6-yard line, and very close to another first down. Anthony Leonard made the stop. Haskell, stand back.
Very good call on his plays. As a draw up the middle. Watch the offensive blocking right there. We see a fine block on Bunch, number 57. Number 24 finally making it, or 42 rather, Leonard making the tackle. Assisted by number 24, Chuck Christ.
Stanback is now the number 2 Atlanta all-time career rusher, trailing only Dave Hampton. 2nd and 1 from the 6-yard line of the 49ers. Second man through gets the call. That's Stanback, and he is stopped for, looks like, no gain. Dan Bunch, the middle linebacker, number 57, making the stop for San Francisco, but I don't believe he got enough for the first down. Let's see, do we have a marker? Apparently there was a flag down.
49ers have allowed the most points in the NFC division, 198, and right now it looks like we're going to add to that.
Penalty is against Atlanta, and it's a big one. 10-yard walk-off, and Fred Silva tells us why.
Number 66, holding.
Holding penalty called on Warren Bryant, the young former number 1 draft pick. A couple of years, well, last year, as a matter of fact, of the Atlanta Falcons. That moves it back to the 16-yard line. Now you've got a 2nd down and 11. Falcons have to get to the 5 to pick up the first down. Steve Bartkowski at the throttle. That's Stanback in motion, leaving Bubba Bean back there. 49ers fake the blitz. Bartkowski back to throw, has Francis inside the 10, and we get another flag thrown as he goes out of bounds at the 8. Anthony Leonard on the stop. See what this one's about. Against the San Francisco 49ers, personal foul is the preliminary indication by Fred Silva. So that will be half the distance to the goal. That's apparently going to be tacked onto the end of the pass completion, which will move it down to the 4.
Probably hit after he went out of bounds on it, Frank, but let's listen to the official.
Defense on the tackle, personal foul.
There you saw it coming across his nose gear. Anthony Leonard, 42, kind of hunting for some heads out there, Frank. That's not necessary.
He was well out of bounds at the time. First and goal to go from the 4-yard line. There's Anthony Leonard, number 42, the defensive back of the 49ers. Bartkowski gives it to Bubba Bean, and Bean is down to the 1-yard line. He didn't get in, but he's inside the 1.
Some good running by Bubba Bean this time as he started to go outside, saw some holes coming open inside. elected to come in and try to get over for the score. Chuck Crisp, number 24, making the tackle. Bubba making a fine effort.
Alfred Jackson comes in at a wide receiver, number 85. Second and goal to go from inside the 1-yard line. Didn't get in. This time trying to get over the top is Bubba Bean, the former Texas A&M star, was sidelined by injuries most of last season. Defense timing their leap pretty near perfect. Harris giving him a little added push with the hand. There's the gun. That signifies the end of the first period of play here at Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. 49ers leading 3-0.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
Inspector, I have the clues.
You have the clues?
Meet me in a silver Mercedes outside.
Mercedes.
79 Ford Granada, an American classic, sometimes confused with a Mercedes.
Inspector, where are you?
I'm in the car.
I'm in the car.
You're in the car?
Are you sure you're in a Mercedes?
Oh.
One good way to tell Granada is by its sticker price.
Ah, that's a Granada, you fool!
Of course, I can see that.
Next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see Hugo Coro defend his World Middleweight Championship against Rodrigo Valdez. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
With John Unitas, this is Frank Lieber at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium as we head into the second quarter of play. San Francisco leading 3-0. But right now, Atlanta is knocking on the door with a third down, goal to go. The nose of the ball is inside the San Francisco 1-yard line. That far away from going ahead in the football game are the Atlanta Falcons. 2 games behind the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Western Division, currently tied with New Orleans for second. Bean and Stanback are the setbacks. Quarterback sneak by Bartkowski. He's over. Bartkowski scores.
Well, we're not very far to go. Bartkowski going up over the top, and he breaks the plane of the goal line. That's all he has to do, even though he was shoved back away from the goal line by the 49ers. He broke the plane. 6 points for the Falcons. Mazzatti will come in for the extra point. Some of these teams, Frank, have really put the excitement back in the extra point game with some of these kickers, haven't they?
Well, Mazzetti's been pretty consistent, and John James, the punter, as you can see, is his holder. 6-3 now, Atlanta. And Mazzetti adds the 7th point.
What do you say about exciting?
Five seconds deep into the second period of play. Atlanta has scored and leads 7-3.
Hasn't been much in the news lately about the Korean influence scandal. Maybe because there wasn't much to it, but maybe there was. I mean, they talked a lot about how to get Koreans to testify under oath, but it takes 2 to make a bribe. Why didn't they get the congressman to testify under oath and in public, like with Watergate? And not just the scapegoats, but the big guys, too. It seems perfectly clear that the Democratic leadership in Congress didn't want us to hear the whole story. We need some new leadership. The only way that's going to happen is by electing a Republican Congress.
Thanks for the tour, fellas. Man, it's dark and dirty down in that mine. But Ken here drives home in the cleanest car you ever saw. And every time he fills it up with gas, he has an easy pouring bottle of STP gas treatment. Because it gets in there and helps keep that carburetor clean. And that's the way this young man wants it. I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP.
Before we rent you a GM car at National, it gets checked out by the Big Green Team.
Willoughby, this old's cutlass. Oh, top condition, Coach. I checked all 10 items on the maintenance checklist. Spare tire? Wipers? Horn?
Then, after we check our cars, we check our checkers.
And did you sign the list? Coach. Just checking, Willoughby. Just checking.
The Big Green Team. We're National Car.
Mazzetti ready to kick off. Well, you got to feel this is Mazzetti's year. An extra point try hit the crossbar and went on over. High kick and a bit short, and Hofer at the 12-yard line takes it back to the 20, 25, 30. Fine run back almost to the 40-yard line before he is shoved out of bounds. Let's take a look at that extra point try. You don't think this is Tim Mazzetti's year?
Well, I think, Frank, anybody can kick it through the middle. It takes a lot of practice to not hit it off the upright and knock it through.
Little ricochet shot, but they count just as well.
26-yard return on that kickoff.
First and 10 for the 49ers at their 38-yard line.
Hey, that's the way to go.
Solomon wide to the right side. Elmo Boy. Split out to the left. Simpson and Farrell are the setbacks. DeBerg trying to hit Boyd at the 50-yard line. Looked like it was there. He's had a bunch dropped.
Well, he had it right on the fingertips. You should catch those kind. That's what they pay you for, honey.
There's Steve Bartkowski. Tell me about playing with a separated shoulder. That's happened to you before, hasn't it?
Well, it's on his left shoulder, so it really doesn't bother him too much when he throws. Where he has problems is when he hands off with the left hand. You try to throw that, follow the runner into the line of scrimmage with your hand, and it has a tendency to pull the arm with it and maybe open that gap just slightly bit more.
Second and 10. 49ers at their 38. Again, DeBerg going upstairs, and this time overthrows O.J. Simpson. Simpson probably just as well he hadn't caught that one, however, because he had heavy company out there. The person of Rick Bias, number 38, and Robert Pennywell, number 59.
DeBerg's 1 of 7 so far for 7 yards. Not a very good start, but he has had the ball drop at least 3 that I can recall. Ken McAfee dropped 1. I think Solomon dropped another. We have one time his three third down conversions. He converted 1 time. Let's see what he does here.
Third and 10. One setback, that's Farrell, and he gives it to Farrell in the draw play. Maybe a yard. No more than that. Fulton Kuykendall. Captain Crazy, they used to call him. And he plays like a fanatic, I'll tell you. He comes after you along with the rest of this swarming Atlanta defense. And they have halted the 49ers. Connell comes in to do the punting. The deep man will be Billy Rickman. Rickman is now a regular wide receiver since Alfred Jenkins, probably the best pass catcher on the Atlanta team, went down with a broken collarbone early in the season. He's on the injured reserve list. Connell's punting average, as you saw, not particularly outstanding, and boy, they almost got to him. Atlanta's blocked 4 punts this year. Here's Rickman. Dropped at the 31-yard line. Good coverage and a little scrambling going on. Look out. Look at these two teams. Greg Boykin came in there quickly, number 33. They've got coaches coming out there from both sides as one of the officials apparently was hurt. That looks like it may be the field judge, Charlie Musser, who got in the middle of that scramble and was trampled. Tempers flared as Rickman took it. And here's Musser getting caught in the scramble and going down.
Energy for a stronger America.
It starts here on the North Slope, the incredible 800-mile Trans-Alaska Pipeline. Now that it's completed, the oil it carries will reduce the payments America makes for foreign oil by billions of dollars each year. And each tanker of North Slope oil leaving Valdez Harbor carries a vital new source of energy for a strong America.
Wendy
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. If you've ever had a dry, chewy hamburger, you're gonna love Wendy's hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's hot and juicy hamburgers. Juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Well, they've got the official, Charlie Musser, up to a sitting position as you look at what happened again. Looks like he may have got hit in the chest or something. You see him holding his chest as he goes down, but he is now on his feet. And let's see, I guess he's going to continue.
All right.
This is the NFL, right?
He got his jaw working, chewing that gum. He must be all right. Boy, I hadn't worried there for a minute, Frank, when he grabbed a hold of his chest. That was a 31-yard punt with a 2-yard return.
Well, he took a pretty good shot in the chest, apparently. Got winded. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at their 30-yard line. There was not a penalty flag thrown in that episode. Francis in motion, number 89. Bartkowski going long. That's for Alfred Jackson, rookie wide receiver, number 7 draft pick out of the University of Texas. And a real speed burner who caught a long bomb a couple of weeks ago in San Francisco that helped beat the 49ers out there. You know, Falcons made a great comeback in that game. They were 10 points down with about 8 minutes left to play in the game, came back to win it. Here's another score for you. Saints are having a good year, aren't they?
Yes, they are. New Orleans 7, Pittsburgh 3. Roy Girella to put Pittsburgh on the board for 3 points, and Archie Manning to Rich Monty for 5 yards and a touchdown.
They're 5-4, just like Atlanta, and Atlanta travels to New Orleans, the Superdome, next week. 2nd and 10. The shoulder was bothering Bartkowski. It didn't show on that long throw. Stanback across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. He runs well.
Haskell Stanback having a fairly good year for the Falcons. Their offensive line doing some good blocking up front as he picks the hole very well. Don Bunce, number 57, middle linebacker, making the tackle, and he's a good one.
How about playing a team twice in 3 weeks? You used to do that a bit when you were at Baltimore. Now, is that a problem?
Well, you don't change too many things, Frank. They don't change their defense. You don't change your offensive thinking too much. Since you've been successful with it, you just stay with it, make them stop it.
Stanback picking up the first down at the 42-yard line, hit by Dan Bunce, the middle linebacker. Haskell Stanback continues to pick up yardage. Coming into this game, he had 404 yards rushing and averaged 3.3 per carry. On an offensive unit that was well down the list in the National Football League. This is the 4th sellout of the year that the Falcons have had. 1st and 10. Atlanta at its 42. Stanback in motion. Bartkowski looks to the near sideline. Billy Rickman for the first down at the 40-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Eddie Lewis made the stop.
Just a quick slant. We have some good protection up front as we see Bartkowski just taking 2 steps back. There's a quick slant. Rickman making the catch. Wallace Francis rather making the catch, number 89. Oh, it was Rickman, 82. Excuse me.
You don't think I'd make a mistake, John, do you?
No, I do.
Okay. 1st and 10. Falcons moving now. They're at the San Francisco 40-yard line. Leading by a score 7-3. Stanback trying to get outside of the sweep. Gets a yard. Not much more than that. Archie Reese, number 78, was over there quickly, as was Joe Harris, the linebacker, number 50. There's the San Francisco defense. Young, as is this football team, but with some great prospects on there. No doubt they miss Cleveland Elam, who's been troublesome with some knee problems. Elam's been switched to end this year.
49ers had 5 sacks against the Falcons 2 weeks ago. That's been their highest total for the whole season.
2nd and 9. Falcon offensive line doing a pretty good job protecting Bartkowski so far. And again, he's going long. This time for Rickman, and batted away by Lewis. Good defense. That's a fine defensive play by Lewis, who had him all the way.
Eddie Lewis, number 25, or 22 rather, has Rickman covered all the way. Burkowski's pass thrown fairly well. Either man could have come up with that football. Could have put a little bit more on it, but it was fine coverage by Eddie Lewis. He's trying to loosen that defensive secondary up, throwing the football long. He'll come back and possibly start hitting some short slants like he did previously and working to the outside. Bartkowski so far is 3 of 8 for 34 yards.
3rd down 9. Falcons at the 40-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers, leading 7-3 in the second period. Rushes on, he gets it away, almost intercepted. Tried to hit Mitchell, the tight end, and Chuck Christ, number 24, the safety, was back there, and Christ looked like the most surprised man in the world when that football arrived there. He wasn't quite ready for it.
It'd been a surprise. They haven't had an interception in the last 3 ball games.
That would be a surprise, it wouldn't it? Right. So James comes on to do the punting for the Atlanta Falcons. Leonard drops back deep, joining Larry Jones. Freddie Solomon is also back there, so they've got 3 potential receivers. Snap a little bit high. Trying to put some reverse English on that, but it doesn't work. Goes into the end zone, and the 49ers will take over at the 20-yard line. Punt of 40 yards by John James, his 3rd punt of the afternoon. Time remaining in the first half, 10 minutes, 41 seconds.
To every secretary who ever asked why centering a line can't be automatic, and why setting up columns, and indenting, and underlining, and erasing too can't be automatic. To all those secretaries, IBM says, wait till you get your hands on this. The new IBM electronic typewriter. So automatic that while you fold the letter, it types the envelope. Now that's automatic.
Introducing a whole new breed of Mustang. The all-new 79 Mustang from Ford. With a new aerodynamic design, precise handling, and Mustang performance from options of V6, V8, even a turbocharged engine. Mustang for 79, the new breed in 2-door and 3-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
Next Sunday on CBS Sports, see NFL doubleheader action. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
49ers ball, 1st and 10 at their 20. And by the way, John, we want to say hello to Lynn Dayton, Charlie Dayton's wife. Charlie's the public relations director, the Falcons, an old friend of ours. And Lynn, we understand, has been hospitalized for a few days. We'll wish her a happy recovery.
Well, I believe Lynn is expecting a baby. Hopefully that the illness has nothing to do with that. We certainly wish her well.
Bobby Farrell takes the handoff from Steve DeBerg, gets a couple of yards. Roland Lawrence, Frank Reed making the stop. Farrell, but somewhat of a surprise for the 49ers this year. They started the season, you know, with Wilbur Jackson running opposite Simpson. He went down in preseason with an injury. Then Greg Boykin came on, and he was hurt for a little while. Then Farrell stepped in, and he's done such a good job that even though Boykin is healthy now, Farrell has won the spot. 3rd down and 8. Make it 2nd down and 8. Simpson. Stop short of the 25. Dewey McClain, number 52, and Wilson Famuina.
All right, right? Oh, you get good.
I speak Samoan very well.
You certainly do.
3rd down. 49ers still need 6 for the 1st down. Simpson comes out of the lineup.
Looks like he's holding his right side, Frank.
He's had a tough week in workouts. It showed some signs of favoring that knee that was operated on last year. Flags down prior to the snap.
Now the quarterback started a little earlier that time. He wanted to get out of the hole, and the center didn't snap it, so he had to stay in there. Any false movement will draw those people off sides, and it's going to be called, I would think, against the 49ers.
Illegal procedure will cost them 5. Here's the call from Fred Silva, the referee.
Offense, number 56, false start.
That's Quillen, the center. Never blame the quarterback. They always blame the center, John. You know that. Now 3rd down and 11. Hofer in the backfield with Farrell. Hofer taking the handoff.
They've had a loose ball in there, Frank. Everyone seemed to converge very quickly.
That'll be 4th down as Steve DeBerg leads his offensive unit off the field. And the hand is for the Atlanta Falcons defense as they come off the field. Fritz blitz, yeah. Connell in to do the punting. Now keep in mind that this Falcon special unit has blocked 4 punts this year. They lead the NFL in blocking punts. They've got 8 men on the line of scrimmage, 3 men back. They play this one for the return all the way. Billy Rickman at the 35, 40. Got a marker thrown as Rickman is dropped at the 42-yard line. Mark Nichols making the stop for San Francisco. And we've got a clip.
46-yard punt with a 7-yard return.
So that will cost the Falcons some yardage. They'll spot it back at the 26-yard line. And who was the culprit?
On the run back, number 26, clipping.
That's Esposito. Mike Esposito, the running back. They shall mark it at the 27-yard line.
Excuse me, Falcons have had 4 penalties for 54 yards, and this big one puts them right back into the hole.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's it say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A 1/3 less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boog Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Introducing the new Ford Pinto for $79. A new design for a little American workhorse. New up here, new back here, new in here, and a parade of new design Pintos to choose from. The new Pinto ESS, a new cruising wagon, a new Pinto Squire, a new cruising sedan, and a new Pinto wagon. So join the band. See all these new design 79 Ford Pintos. A little American workhorse at your Ford dealer.
Ricky Patton, number 33, has come into the Atlanta backfield as they give Stanback a rest. He's a rookie. Low-round draft choice. 1st and 10. Atlanta from its 27-yard line. And they put Patton to work right away. Not much there as he is wrapped up by Archie Reese, number 78. Reese, another of the San Francisco rookies. Here's Patton. 2nd period score, New England 7, Buffalo 3. I'm still picking the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, they've had the good season. They really blew them out a couple of weeks ago. The offense seems to be a hot and cold type thing, Frank, but I think that you're probably right. They have an opportunity to do it.
2nd and 10. No gain on that last play. Falcons trying to move it from their 27-yard line. Flag down. Bubba Bean makes the catch and takes it out to the 36-yard line, short of the 1st down. Anthony Leonard made the tackle, but it's going to be called back for holding.
Well, that's a big play for the Falcons.
66, holding.
It's Bryant. 2nd time they've got Warren Bryant, the 2nd-year tackle.
It's a fine call by... I think that's a coach calling the plays on both of these teams now, right?
They do.
Lehman Bennett and Fred O'Connor. Right now, Bennett is ahead of O'Connor 7-3.
You never call plays. What would you say if you were still playing and they said they wanted to call the plays?
Huh?
Patton to the 21-yard line. Chuck Chris making the stop.
I guess they're justified in doing so, Frank, if they feel that their offense is just not moving well enough and they're not getting the things done that they want done off of a game plan, that certainly the coach is justified in calling plays. I always felt that the quarterback was in a better position to call them. He had all the information he needed from his offensive linemen if they talked to them all the time. And if you can set your defenses the way you want them to be because of formation, you should be able to go out and do exactly what you want. And it's just a matter of executing then.
Third down, Falcons need 16 for the first down from their own 21. Bartkowski with good protection going long for Jackson. Intercepted by Lewis. Lewis is back to the 45-yard line. Far sideline still at the 45. There's a flag as he goes out of bounds at midfield. Well, you mentioned they didn't have an interception in 3 ball games. They finally got one. They sent Alfred Jackson, their speedster, down there. Atlanta did, and he had 3 people around him. A clip may wipe out some of that. It's going to be a clip.
It was a poorly thrown ball by Bartkowski. You see him looking to his right side and going back. There's the throw. No one is open. He had everyone back there, but the ball was thrown high, almost up for grabs. As you see, the defense surrounding the football, coming up with the interception.
Number 42, clipping. First down.
49ers will keep the ball, and Leonard, number 42 on the clip.
Eddie Lewis, 22, made the return. The ball was really poorly thrown, and I think that Bartkowski should go back to running some deep patterns if that's what he wants to do off of some of the passes he's been successful in throwing. And not just trying to throw it long.
San Francisco now has the ball at the 35-yard line in their end of the field. Paul Hofer gets the handoff. Eagles, who are short on running backs this week, they've got everybody hurt, have moved ahead of Green Bay.
Eagles 7, Green Bay 3. John Sciarra on a 3-yard run.
He does everything for Philadelphia. That's got to be the most versatile player in the league. Returns punts for him, holds, plays defensive back, short yardage quarterback. June Jones, Bartkowski's backup quarterback, getting that right arm loosened. Hopes he'll have a chance to use it this afternoon. 2nd and 9 from the 36-yard line. Freddie Solomon was the intended receiver, but DeBerg, victim of a big rush that time, as Jeff Burrow, number 75, really blew through there.
I don't know if we have that on a disc, but DeBerg is not really going back far enough. He took one step back there, I believe, and he was actually pushed in by his own men. Let's take a look right there. You see his own men coming right back in on him. He's going to have to get back further or either get some aggressive pass blocking up front to bring those guys down in front. 1 of 8 for 7 yards so far.
San Francisco has a 3rd and 9 at their own 36-yard line. Simpson has not been back in this series of downs. Solomon was the intended receiver, but he was well covered on the near sideline by Roland Lawrence, number 22, and DeBerg elected to throw it away. Oh, this young man is getting a baptism under fire, I'll tell you that. It's been a tough year for DeBerg, but the 49ers are hoping it will pay off in future years.
Well, we're looking at 2 teams who do not stand very high in the offensive statistics. San Francisco is 13th, and Atlanta is 14th in the stats. So, not very good offensive team for either one of them.
Falcons have 10 men on the line of scrimmage, so it looks like they're going to come after Connell this time. Rickman is back deep. Here they come. Nice high kick. Fair catch. Rickman back at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at that point. A 46-yard punt with fine hang time for rookie Mike Connell of the San Francisco 49ers. Timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
What comes out of a loudspeaker is only as impressive as what goes into it. Pioneer's HPM speakers have a unique super tweeter that breathes to produce incredible highs. Its driver delivers remarkably crisp mid-range. Its bass you not only hear, but feel. So instead of sounding great on part of the music, HPM speakers sound great on all of it. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Alcoa can't wait.
Here they come, pouring in from California and Vermont, from Texas, Oklahoma, and Georgia, from all over the country. billions of used aluminum cans headed for recycling. Today, about 1 out of 4 aluminum cans is recycled and used again. Tomorrow, maybe 1 out of 3. Someday, maybe every one of them.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see Hugo Coro defend his World Middleweight Championship against Rodrigo Valdez. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
With John Unitas, this is Frank Lieber at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. 5:43 left to play in the first half. Falcons have the football and the lead, 7-3. First and 10 at their 17-yard line. Following the punt by Connell. There's Bartkowski going over the middle, a little bit high, but pulled down nevertheless. Chuck Frist on the tackle as the pass reception.
Some play-pass action right here by Bartkowski as he fakes to his halfback coming across. There's the throw to his receiver. A good throw. Wallace Francis, number 89, making the reception. We just had some report on O.J. Simpson, who has injured his shoulder, may not be back into the football game. They've just taken him for X-rays. That could hurt.
For sure, he won't be back in the first half. Ray Strong and Ricky Patton, 2 rookie running backs in there now. And Strong, nice move. Almost out to the 45-yard line and very close for a first down. That was some move. You see that?
Joe Harris, 50, and Chuck Frist, 24 on the tackle. Let's take a look at it here as we goes to the outside, jumps over one man, makes a complete stop here. Cedric Hartman, 86, chasing him down. Misses as he goes back to the inside. Some good moves and some people standing around looking. Hit someone.
Ball is spotted at the 43-yard line. It is a first down for the Atlanta Falcons. So the 2 regular running backs being rested by Lehman Bennett. Rather warmish fall afternoon. Patton gets the call this time. And he's out to the 47-yard line. Well, you've had a chance to look at a little bit of Steve Bartkowski, perhaps for the first time here in the flesh. Former #1 draft choice in the league. How would you analyze him?
Well, I don't think he's throwing the ball as well as he's capable of. He's a little high with most everything right now. I think a big problem is that he's not following through with the football and throwing off his back foot. If you're going to move the ball down a little lower, he has to come over top with it and move into it with a little bit more authority.
Any way you could attribute that to the shoulder thing at all? He might be favoring that a little bit?
I don't think so. It's his left shoulder, and he throws right-handed.
That's true. You got a point. Archie Reese and Bartkowski looked up, and all of a sudden everything went black. The sky fell in on him. Boy, just one big leap here by Reese, number 78.
Well, he did not get deep enough coming down that line of scrimmage. That's the first sack for the 49ers and the first one against the Falcons this afternoon, which gives them 36 for the year. But he didn't get enough depth on that play, Frank. He has to get a little more depth. His man dropping off the line of scrimmage, picking up the rusher a little deeper than normal.
Lehman Bennett alternates his wide receivers, sending plays in from the bench. He's got 3 receivers that he uses. Third down and 14 as the ball now is at the 39-yard line of the Falcons. 49ers faking the blitz.
I believe that confused Bartkowski. He started to check off and took too long at the line of scrimmage. He's either going to make his mind up very quickly or don't do it at all.
Offense, delay.
Sometimes that's where that sending in plays from the bench can foul you up there. You lose valuable seconds that you don't have at the line of scrimmage.
That's right. St. Louis on a win streak, 14-0 over the Giants in the second period. Jim Otis on a 2-yard run for the touchdown.
Third down and 19, and again the 49ers threaten the blitz here. Falcons at their own 35. Bartkowski rolling out. Lets it loose and completes it to Jackson at the 48-yard line. Alfred Jackson, the rookie wide receiver from the University of Texas, really went high after that one.
Sprint out to his left there as he's trying to get a little bit better protection.
Well, he got close to the line of scrimmage here, too.
A difficult throw, too, by Bartkowski. It was a lot better catch than it was the throw, as you see Alfred Jackson going up high.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first half. Bob Jury does come in. Leonard is deep. 4th down and 2. John James, number 6, awaiting the snap. It's like a Chinese fire drill out there.
Everyone's pointing to everybody. They got that cat blocking. You take this cat, I'll take that cat, you take this cat.
Fair catch is signaled by Leonard, who pulls it down at the 14. That's like the lookout block, right?
Right.
You miss the guy, you turn around to the quarterback and say, look out.
Look out.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes kicks off television's top Sunday night lineup. Great show. More fascinating stories. All in the Family. That old standby is around, as is Alice, Kaz, and the relatively new series called Dallas. You can see it all, the fun and the excitement, here on CBS this Sunday evening.
Does all those kind of things really happen in Dallas is on that show?
Since I live there, I have to say no. I see very few people, wearing 10-gallon hats and things like they have on that show. Hofer taking the handoff out to the 18-yard line, but they have great shots of the skyline on the front of that show. You ever see it?
That's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful town. That punt went 33 yards before this last play. 4th punt of the ball game, 33-yard punt with no return.
2-minute warning going to both benches. We'll be back in Atlanta momentarily.
Imagine if someone invented a wonderful box and gave you a way to catch little pieces of your life so that you could see them again anytime by just dropping them into the box. Now, wouldn't that be something? Well, it is something. Polavision, Polaroids, instant movies. Seconds after you shoot, you've got it. And you'll still have it even when certain persons go off to college.
We gonna be the bowling champs tonight! Yeah! Are we having a problem? Yeah.
Did I forget my Prestone?
Yeah.
Take out the O, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone 2.
Protect against freeze-ups and corrosion. Take out old, weak antifreeze and put in America's most trusted antifreeze, Prestone 2.
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone 2.
And when you flush your cooling system, use Prestone Super Flush.
Exactly 2 minutes left to play in the first half. 49ers will have a 3rd down 7 upcoming with the ball just short of the 20-yard line. Steve DeBerg leading San Francisco up to the line of scrimmage. 49ers without the services now of O.J. Simpson, who may be out for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury. I would say that didn't work too well.
I would say change the play.
Farrell taking the handoff, and boy, were they ready.
Watch the defense come in. No blocking whatsoever. Fine play by the defensive line. Greg Brazina, number 50. He's been around for a while and playing extremely good football this year for the Falcons.
That may have been an example of the lookout block we were talking about a moment ago.
Look like they're moving up that line of scrimmage very high.
3rd down. Needing 8 now following the loss of 1 on the play. DeBerg is 1 out of 9 in the first half. And the running game isn't working that well either, as Farrell took the handoff and ran into Wilson Famuina. And again, San Francisco will be punting. Well, if the passing game isn't working and Simpson is hurt, you'd have to think San Francisco's in a little bit of trouble.
I would say the passing game's not working very well. 1 for 9 for a 7-yard gain, although he has had 3 drop, which have hurt him in the first quarter.
49ers ran the ball very well on Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Simpson had 96 yards rushing in that game, and Farrell had 90, and they went over 200 yards. But they haven't run it that well today. 1 minute and 12 seconds left to play in the first half as timeout is being called, as the Falcons have hopes of getting on the scoreboard again. They lead it here by a count of 7-3. Trying to make it 2 in a row for San Francisco this year. They won that ball game 20-17 2 weeks ago. Coming up on CBS next Sunday afternoon, this is the lineup, the early games, the Giants in Washington, Tampa Bay, Detroit. The Falcons will be in the Superdome to take on New Orleans, which is shaping up to be a very interesting game, the way these two teams are going. And the doubleheader game, the late games, Dallas, Green Bay, and St. Louis, San Francisco. Who would have thought Dallas, Green Bay be a big game earlier this year? Connell is back there at the 4, awaiting the snap. 10 men up front for the Falcons. Let's see if they come after him again. They hit him. It's going to be roughing the kicker. Rickman fields the punt and will go out of bounds. Tom Pridemore, number 27, the rookie, blew through there, thought he had a shot at blocking the punt. And what he got was a big chunk of Mr. Connell.
Well, here it is right here. The ball's a little high. You think maybe you may have a chance for it, but there it is right there. He took a shot at it, but Tom Pridemore, number 27, all he got, as you said, was a lot of air and O'Connell.
That's an automatic first down. So the Falcon defense comes back on the field. Here's the call.
Running into the kicker, 5 yards, number 27. First down.
You differentiate there between running into the punter and roughing the punter. You rough him, it's 15. You just run into him, as Pridemore did, and it's 5. But either way, it is a first down. So the 49ers get the football back at their 24-yard line with 1:04 left to play in the half. They trail 7-3. Hofer and Farrell are the setbacks. It is Hofer on the reverse, giving it to Solomon, who wants to throw and does. Intended for Harrison, but he's well covered downfield by Roland Lawrence, number 22.
I tell you what, that kid got up off the ground and rifled that ball about 55 yards. Let's take a look at this. This is a Fuller right here. Hello, excuse me.
You know, Solomon used to be a quarterback in college.
I know, watch the arm on it. He rifles it down there a good bit. How far is that, 60 yards?
Must be.
Woo! Well, I guess that's part of their 2 minutes drill.
I don't think the falling down part was it? 55 seconds left to play now in the first half. 2nd and 10. DeBerg going up the middle to Paul Hofer, number 36, who is O.J. Simpson's understudy.
Frank, in the last 6 ball games, the Falcons have held their opposition to only a 3.3 yard per carry, which is not bad. They've been having a terrific afternoon so far against them.
You know, they played Detroit 3 weeks ago, which started this 3-game winning streak, and they allowed the Lions 22 yards on the ground for the entire ball game. This will probably be the last play of the game if San Francisco elects to keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock running. Farrell to about the 32-yard line. Falcons will call time. They're going to at least make the 49ers punt it again and get a chance at a run back.
If they kick it very far, they should just go ahead and catch it on a fair catch so they get at least a chance for one play. If they get a bad kick and he has a chance at a run back, I would say it would be all right. He only has 9 seconds to go.
Mike Connell, the rookie from Cincinnati, is the San Francisco punter, number 10. The 4th down. 49ers need about 2 yards for the first down. They're at their own 32-yard line. But just 9 seconds left to play in the first half. Defense-dominated football game, as most people expected it would be. I don't know if the Falcons are having a letdown, but it doesn't look like they're playing quite as intense as they were Monday night against the Rams.
No, they're not. They haven't really blitzed like they did the other night either. They had 1 or 2 blitzes where linebackers. Last Monday they were sending defensive backs, safeties, halfbacks, and I think Rankin Smith came in one time too.
You think Connell thinks they're going to come after him again? 10 guys up there, look at them. Fire in their eyes. He gets it away this time, and Rickman wasn't even playing deep. He's going to let it bounce at the 20, and the clock is run down to 0. So that will be the end of the first half. So, despite the fact that San Francisco got on the scoreboard first and did so with a fine drive in the opening period, which consumed almost 8 minutes of the first quarter, wound up in a field goal, the Atlanta Falcons of Lehman Bennett came back with a touchdown, which was set up by a turnover, which, of course, has been a big problem for San Francisco all year. Bartkowski scored it on the quarterback sneak, and that's where we stand right now. 7-3, Atlanta leading San Francisco. in this NFC Western Division battle. That's part of the capacity crowd here, better than 60,000 on hand at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Frank Lieber with John Unitas, and we'll be back shortly.
We're here in the desert to prove how much power and endurance is packed into the Skill cordless 3/8-inch drill and screwdriver. With just one charge, we drilled 199 holes.
200.
And it still has enough muscle to drill through concrete and drive screws into metal with 2-speed trigger for better control. For any tough job at home or anywhere, take along the Skill cordless drill and screwdriver and do it with skill.
With great skill and discipline, you teach what's been kept a secret for centuries. And when the lesson has been taught and learned, now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
Sir, excuse me. You just bought a new maintenance-free Firestone Forever battery. How come?
Well, the warranty. You see, if this battery ever fails to hold a charge for the original owner, that's me, in the car in which it was originally installed, right here, Firestone will replace it free with proof of purchase, provided it's not merely discharged or damaged due to accident or abuse. Oh, and I don't even have to put in water. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it sure does.
The Forever battery, now maintenance-free.
On Sundays, CBS Sports presents the Emmy Award-winning NFL Today Show with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Irv Cross. We'll have Jane Kennedy going on to the field with the headline makers.
Irv Cross showed me 2 ways to stop these guys. So defensive backs, take note.
We'll also have Jimmy the Greek's predictions and incisive commentary by Jack Whitaker. The Emmy Award-winning NFL Today Show. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Halftime here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with the Falcons leading the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 7-3. The fans here being entertained by the Morris Brown College Marching Band. It's been a very defensive football game so far. More of halftime coming up.
Welcome back. The Seattle Seahawks have just struck again. They now lead troubled Chicago by 2 touchdowns. Let's get you up to date with everything going on around the league. 7-3, Philadelphia and Green Bay just about ready to start the second half. New Orleans and Pittsburgh, and the Saints are for real. They've been moving the ball against that tough Iron Curtain defense. The Giants and the Cardinals, and Irv Cross tells me the Cardinals are knocking on the door again. Already it is 14-0. San Francisco, Atlanta, the game you're watching at half with the Falcons ahead. The 49ers should have scored a touchdown. Minnesota and Detroit and the Lions have just gone up. They score 7-3 in Bloomington. They lead the Vikes. And here's the score of New England and Buffalo. And the Bills scored first on a field goal, but then the Patriots came right back, and now they lead 7-3. That game is at the half. And there is the Seattle Seahawks update. It is 14-3 as the Bears have kicked a field goal. Cleveland and Houston figured to be tough down in the Dome, and it is. Oakland and Kansas City are also underway. They are scoreless in the first. And Irv, let's turn our attention now to that Giant game and roll up some highlights.
Okay, of course, the Cardinals are ahead in that game right now, 14-0, with about a minute left to go, and they just went over another touchdown. So the Cardinals just simply scored another touchdown while we were on the air. But let's take a look at some of the first quarter highlights as Jim Hart goes to Pat Tilley, number 83. Tilley makes a nifty catch going to his right sideline here before he's finally knocked down. Hart comes back later in the first quarter from the 5-yard line, goes to Al Chandler, touchdown. Cardinals score, and they lead right now 20-0. The extra point has not yet been kicked.
All right, Irv, Green Bay, Philadelphia. Terribly entertaining first half. We have all wondered about David Whitehurst. What kind of a quarterback is he? He answered some questions here. Under heavy pressure by the Eagles on the blitz, watch him get the ball off as he takes the hit. Middleton, with good speed to the outside, follows his blocker, 50-yard gain. Chester Markle then banged home a 43-yard field goal. It was 3-0. Here's Whitehurst now, looking for James Lofton, the rookie from Stanford, streaking down the sideline. beats Outlaw, gets into the end zone, but it's called back. Holding against the Packers, no score on the play. Then this sequence turned it around. Bad snap by McCarron. Beverly tries to kick it on the ground. Eagles recover, and John Shara comes in to direct the Eagles whenever they get inside that 10-yard line. Former rollout quarterback from UCLA gets the job done right here, and the Eagles lead it by a score of 7-3. Irv?
Guess what? Jim Bakken came in to kick an extra point, and it was blocked. So the Cardinals lead 20-0 right now with about 30 seconds left to go at halftime in St. Louis. But Pittsburgh and New Orleans, that's the game you want to hear about right now. New Orleans leads that game at halftime by a score of 7-3, and Terry Bradshaw went to the air early in the ball game, going to one of his favorite receivers, Franco Harris. Who else? Harris makes a nice catch and rambles 30 yards upfield, and with that, Harris breaks a 7,000-yard career rushing record here for the Steelers. Archie Manning gets back in the ball game with his Saints by hitting Rich Maldi for a touchdown. He leads 7-3 at halftime.
All right, Irv, and the NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
A practical joke causes a strange bedfellow for Archie. Be here when he wakes up on the morning after, the night before, on All in the Family, tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Frank Lieber with John Unitas back at Atlanta. Halftime with the Falcons leading San Francisco by a score of 7-3. And a reminder that later this afternoon, most of you are going to be seeing the Dallas Cowboys take on the Miami Dolphins direct from the Orange Bowl in Miami. And the coaches, Tom Landry and Don Shula, discuss the importance of the game.
The biggest game is that we're both one behind our leaders in our divisions, and we only have 7 games to go. We've been down 2 already this year, early in the year, but when time starts to run out, then games become very, very important. So this has to be a must game for both Miami and Dallas.
We've had some big ones in the past, but certainly at this point in the season, this has got to be a big game. Our offense has to be able to control the football. We've got to have some type of running game. Now, Delvin Williams has been doing an excellent job for us. But, of course, the Dallas flex defense pretty much controls whoever they want to control. As far as defensively, you just have to keep your poise. You can't worry about all the shifting that's going on and then forget to play when the ball is snapped. You got to let all that camouflage go on and make your adjustments defensively, and then when the ball snaps, play tough defensive football.
I think the thing you've got to remember in our league, in the National Football League, that our game is pretty much of a mental game. It depends on how your players think, where you are, what you're doing.
You have to take winning and the success that goes with it, and you can't let it get to your head.
And I think when you come off the Super Bowl, in most cases you're overrated the next year from what you really are. Other teams come after you much stronger than they've ever come, because if you win the Super Bowl in 1977, then you are the measuring stick for 1978.
Teams enjoy playing against teams that have a reputation for winning, and we've won through the years, so that's why teams enjoy getting it up for us. People enjoy beating the Dolphins, not so much because Don Shula coaches the Miami Dolphins, but I think the fact that we have won Super Bowls.
And when you're fighting for the Super Bowl, everything seems to be on the upbeat. Everybody wants to win. They're paying a great price. Once you win the thing, then you want to win it again, but subconsciously you're just not ready to play at the same level you played before. And so sometime along the season you get in a position like we are right now where you got to make up your mind whether you're going to come back and win it or not, or whether you're going to be watching the other teams play on Christmas Day.
Big hand here from the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium for the Morris Brown College Marching Band, finishing up their halftime show. Falcons leading San Francisco 7-3 as Atlanta trying to pick up its 4th victory in a row. Now, they had a string back in 1973 where they won 7 in a row. The year they won 9 and 5 and just missed the playoff. As you look at the halftime statistics, which tells you pretty much what you already know, it's been a defensive-minded football game.
Strictly defense. The only advantage, of course, Atlanta in the passing game, 63 to 7 yards, and neither quarterback really have an outstanding day. Bartkowski so far having the better of it in the first half. And I would think they'd have to get a little bit more offense, Frank, coming out in the second half. They really haven't shown anything, but of course we're looking at the number 13th offensive team in the league and statistic-wise, San Francisco, and of course Atlanta's a 14, so really didn't expect to do too much offense out here this afternoon.
San Francisco, as you saw, pretty well controlled the ball, but they did give it up a big turnover that the Falcons turned into the only touchdown of the day. We'll be back in a minute.
This is a bodybuilding course. Take it. If you'd like the chance to be in this kind of shape, join the people who've joined the Army. For more information, call this number toll-free.
Good old Charlie, that's me. Somebody's got a dead battery and they call good old Charlie, and I jump-start 'em. Rain, snow, day, night. Well, this time I tell them, get your own Die-Hard.
The maintenance-free Die-Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
This is the last time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, anytime.
The Die-Hard, sold only at Sears.
That's my team, the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm Randy Cross. What do you think of when you think of San Francisco? I want to show you a place that's special to me, the Japanese Pavilion at Golden Gate Park. The Japanese try to capture the good feelings of life through meditation, and they fashion their beautiful gardens to inspire contemplation. San Francisco has the largest Japanese community in America. Like any other community, it has the problem of how to care for the elderly. Old people who feel they've been left alone with no one to care. But in San Francisco, we do care. Our United Way is helping them through the Komochi Project, a United Japanese Community Service. Komochi means good feelings, and it stands for the love and respect the Japanese have for their elderly. The United Way works in San Francisco, and it works in your town too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Steve Bartkowski, the Atlanta quarterback, loosening up prior to the start of the second half. Looks like he's held up pretty well.
He has. He only had that one knockdown. It didn't seem to bother him at all. And he's moving out of the pocket now, changing up the pass protection, affording him more time to get to the outside. He really hasn't been throwing the football that well, even though he's had better statistics than Steve DeBerg on the other team. I'd like to see him get a little bit more force on the football and to work the ball off of some passes that he has completed on some quick slants. If he's going to throw the football deep, work off of that slant move and try to make that defensive back freeze back there and then get behind him instead of just running a guy down that sideline, Frank.
There's June Jones, the backup to Bartkowski, who you had a chance to meet down in the field, I understand. When was it, last year once? And he came up to you and said, my dad would like to be remembered to you because he played against you? Wasn't that the story?
I'm not even going to say a thing about that. He's a very nice young man. We wish him well.
But was his dad a good player?
I don't know. I don't recall that I knew his father. I may have played against him somewhere along the line. If you play for so many years, you'll ever run into a whole lot of folks.
And you played for so many years.
Yes, I did.
Ray Wurzing will kick off for the San Francisco 49ers. The deep man is Dennis Pearson, number 81. Wurzing, one of the bright spots for San Francisco this year. He's had a good season. Pearson, rookie wide receiver at the 5, 10, 15. Trying to get outside, 20, 25, and stopped at the 30-yard line. Wonder Mounds, number 25. You talk about your great names in pro football. How about Wonderful Mounds Jr.?
Not bad. Sounds like a candy bar.
Named his little boy Wonderful Mounds III. It's a true story. Nose of the ball is just inside the Falcons' 30-yard line as they put it in play here to start the second half, leading 7-3. They're after their 6th victory of the season against 4 losses, which would leave them no worse than tied with New Orleans for second place. Bartkowski going to come out throwing. And got the receiver, Billy Rickman, at the 45-yard line. First down for the Falcons. Chuck Chris, number 24.
Very good move. Here's something we were talking about earlier. Rickman's going like he's taking off on a fly pattern and then decides to come back on a little button hook, and of course Steve is right on the money. Good call that time. That's what I was talking about when you say working off of something that has been successful, you try to set up earlier. He took off a couple times, a long one. This guy played off of him and just kind of curled in there. Burkowski had it right on the money.
So Rickman comes out to rest for a play as Lehman Bennett continues to send his plays in using wide receivers. Handoff this time goes to Bubba Bean. And we got a marker down near midfield. Bean to about the 49-yard line. Jim Webb, number 74, Joe Harris, number 70 on the stop. Cedric Hardman, number 86, they're looking on. You know, Hardman has got, they say, a 34-inch waist for a guy who weighs 250. That unreal?
He's one of the few people that I remember from that.
Number 57, holding.
The holding call goes against Jeff Van Note, the Atlanta center.
That's the 8th penalty for 84 yards against the Falcons. That sure doesn't do your offensive statistics any good, I'll tell you that.
What did you start saying about Hardman?
Hardman is one of the few guys that I remember from the 49er team. I think they've kind of traded or got rid of most of the people who have been there over the last 6-7 years.
1st and 20 now, and Barkowski, even with a blitz, gets it away to Jim Mitchell, but Mitchell is in trouble, and we get another flag. This flag thrown back deep in the pocket. Ed Bradley made the stop. And this one will also go against the Falcons. Oh, they are running up penalties by the score.
Offense, 78, holding.
There you saw an apparent holding penalty right there as one of the hands got tangled in the jersey. He didn't do it really. I mean, it's just kind of a mistake.
That was a rookie, Mike Ken, the #1 draft pick of the Falcons, guilty of the holding infraction. The word on O.J. Simpson is that he has a possible shoulder separation, and he will not be back for the remainder of the afternoon. So the 49ers are going to have to do it without O.J. Also got word of the Minnesota game that Fran Tarkinen was injured in the second period today. How bad, we don't know. Stand back. Not much running room there.
Good defense by the 49ers. Fine pursuit. Caught stand back, kept them short of the line of scrimmage.
Bruce Elia, number 55, the 49er linebacker, making the stop. Second down and 29. Now when you want the coach to send in the play, right?
And now you're looking for help, right? That's right. What do you do on 2nd and 29? I don't know, but don't throw it my way, right?
Ball is at the 26-yard line of the Falcons. Bubba Bean. Converged upon by the white shirt from the West Coast. Anthony Leonard, number 42, leading the defensive charge of the 49ers that time, and not much there for the Atlanta running back. That'll set up 3rd down. That's what Barkowski has done so far this afternoon. Not bad for a guy with a slightly separated shoulder. Rickman to the right side. Francis off to the left. 3rd down, 27. Safety valve out to Bean, who is stopped at the 30-yard line after a couple of yards by the aforementioned Cedric Hardman, number 86.
Well, he looked downfield. Apparently no one was open. Decided to go to his safety valve and bring in Mr. James and let him put it out of the stadium.
49ers will go with 3 receivers. That's what James did in the first half. Solomon is back there, so is Larry Jones, and so is Anthony Leonard, as San Francisco has 8 players up on the line of scrimmage.
Jones has had 4 kicks for 37.8 yards a try this afternoon. And hits this one very well.
Nice hang time. Leonard at the 26. Runs into one of his own men trying to get outside to the 35. And there he is upended by Ralph Ortega, number 55. Pretty good hit. 49ers take over with 12:06 left in the third period.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find this near your home.
Oh, hi, it's me again, posting and pasting more posters. This time it's for the first annual Delco battery sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to buy a Freedom battery at a special sale price.
Thanks, Delco.
Wherever you see this poster, look for it in your neighborhood for a great price on a battery you can trust. Thanks, Delco. Well, you'll be saying thanks, Delco, too.
Nobody does it better than Hertz.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far. Nobody does it best of all. You, Hertz, the superstar.
Nobody has more of what it takes to rid you of Fairmont, Mustang, LTD, or other fine car faster.
Hertz, the superstar.
You know it.
Next Sunday on CBS Sports, see NFL doubleheader action. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Everywhere you go, John.
Oh, you never know. Looky there, the pretty little damsels.
First and 10, San Francisco at its 34-yard line as we head back to play. DeBerg, little mix-up there. Paul Hofer, number 36, taking the handoff and colliding with DeBerg. I don't think he wanted that ball at all, did he?
No, Leroy says, don't give it to me. Looky here. Get out of the way, DeBerg. Give it to him. Fulton Kuykendall making the tackle. We have an update on the New Orleans and Pittsburgh ball game. Pittsburgh is going ahead 10-7 in the third quarter. Terry Bradshaw to Lynn Swan for a 6-yard touchdown, and Franco Harris has rushed for 7,000 career yards. He ought to be tired.
Second, and that's not all this afternoon, John. Second and 16. Nice hole this time, and Hofer jets through across the 35 up to the 39-yard line. He got the 6 back they lost in the previous play and 4 more.
Well, you have to see this one again. It's one of the bright spots in the 49er offense. Hofer coming through, some good blocking, picking of the hole very well, some good strong running too, but good leg drive by Hofer. Ricky Byes 38, Tom Pridemore 27, making the tackle.
Third down, 6 needed for the first down. San Francisco operating at its 39-yard line. They trail 7-3. DeBerg waits for the man to open up, but he never gets it there. Overthrown, intended for Hofer. Steve DeBerg thus far has completed 1 pass in this football game for 7 yards.
He's had 3 of them dropped, but he was that time looking for that quick slant, and Atlanta had that thing covered very, very well. No other opportunities around, and just elected to throw the football out.
You get the impression sometimes this is turning into a punting contest?
I believe so.
O'Connell's turn. Rickman is deep.
O'Connell's hit 5 for a 43-yard average this afternoon.
It's not bad. This one a little bit shorter. Rickman fields it at the 30, 35, 37-yard line. Greg Boykin on the stop for the San Francisco 49ers. 10.5 minutes left to play in the third period here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Falcons lead it 7-3.
They're doing it in every city, town, and hamlet in America. An estimated 10 million people. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans are encouraging it because we're trying hard to hold the cost of health care down, and people who stay fit help. So to all of you out huffing and puffing in America today, Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans want to say thanks for giving the cost of health care a good run for the money.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Come fly with me in one magnificent flying machine, the 79 Thunderbird. I love its luxurious cockpit. Fly with a V8 engine.
Power steering and power brakes, all standard. Glide in great style with wrap-over roof and opera windows at a down-to-earth sticker price.
79 Thunderbird. What a way to fly at your Ford dealers.
Atlanta has the football on its 36-yard line with 10 minutes, 34 seconds left to play in the third period. Falcons leading by a score of 7-3. Ricky Patton, number 33, has come into the backfield. Couple with Bubba Bean. That's Bean. Nice tackle. Anthony Leonard making the stop. Bean, problems last year with the knee injury. Former top draft choice out of Texas A&M, one of the great running backs in the Southwest Conference when he played college football. Patriots 14-3 now ahead of Buffalo.
Horace Ivy on a 5-yard run. New England 14, Buffalo 3.
It's 2 touchdowns for Ivory, one on a 19-yard run, one on a 5-yard run. He's had a great year for the Patriots. Our score 7-3, Atlanta leading. Second and 9. Ball at the 37 of the Falcons. Bartkowski retreating. Intended for Jackson at the 50-yard line. Bob Jury, number 26, was back there.
Oh, he threw that one right into a host of white jerseys down there. Very fortunate that they didn't come up with an interception on it. I think it was just a poor choice again. Protection has been excellent most of the afternoon. He's only had one sack all day long, so he's getting enough time. His men just aren't getting clear enough for him. They're just making some bad judgments on the calls.
8 out of 16 for 86 yards for Bartkowski. He's had 1 picked off. Francis has caught 2. Rickman has caught 2. No one else has caught more than 1. 3rd and 9. Again, protection is good. Bartkowski going long. Streak route. Downfield, Francis, the intended receiver at the 10-yard line, but he had his hands full just to try to stave off the interception. Jury back there with him.
Let's see if we can't see how long it takes him to throw the football downfield. The ball travels about 60 yards in the air, but I think he lets the ball go, does not let the ball go soon enough to be able to get down there far enough.
Back to live action as the punt is caught by Freddie Solomon at the 33-yard line.
Frank, I still think he has to work off of some things that have been going good for him. The quick slant and maybe the fake of the takeoff and curl back inside. He's only thrown the football twice to Mitchell. Let's listen to the official now.
Offense, Atlanta, too many men on the field. Refused.
Well, if you can't win with 11, you bring 12 out.
Might as well try until they catch you, right? Well, Atlanta has had its penalty problems this afternoon. 49ers take it as is, so they'll get the football at their 33-yard line with 9 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the third period. Just 30 yards on the punt, that time by John James.
Think of all the stereo receivers out there, all the sophisticated electronics, all the heavy price tags. Not one of these receivers has all the features found in JCPenney's remarkable MCS Series 75-watt receiver. Features like a graphic equalizer with LED readouts, an FM multipath deviation meter, an LED signal strength meter. JCPenney's MCS Series 75-watt receiver. Think of it.
Extra, extra. Read all about me. New Mobile Super Unleaded Gasoline.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, I got higher octane.
It's in all the papers, boss.
I mean, I fight knocks. I fight pings. And I'm so great, I'm also replacing Mobile Premium. Paper, sir? Extra, extra. Read all about me.
Mobile Super Unleaded Gasoline.
Next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see Hugo Coro defend his World Middleweight Championship against Rodrigo Valdez. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Frank Lieber with John Unitas in Atlanta, where the 49ers have the football, 1st and 10 at their 33-yard line. They have not had a serious scoring threat since their long drive back in the first period, which resulted in a field goal. Paul Hofer. In case you joined us late, O.J. Simpson left the game in the second period for what could be a mild shoulder separation.
Let's take a look at one of the good linebackers in the game, Brzezina, number 50 here. As he takes on Hughes, number 65, goes back to the outside, and aids making the tackle on Hoopfra.
Second down, 5. Niners operating from their 37-yard line. DeBerg sending Freddie Solomon in motion. Giving it to Farrell, and Farrell running hard. Gets across the 50-yard line to the 49 of Atlanta.
The offensive line seems to be taking charge of the line of scrimmage now, and that's what they're going to have to do if they're going to continue to run the football against this Falcon defense.
Fred O'Connor, the new head coach of the 49ers, trying to pick up his first victory. He took over the reins Tuesday after Pete McCulley was fired. That, of course, is a first down. San Francisco moving the ball from midfield, trailing 7-3 here in the third period. Having to do it virtually on the ground. Hofer to about the 47-yard line. There's O'Connor sending in the plays. He's using linemen, as you can see, in this case, Knutson. What about the coaching change out there? I mean, that's 4 coaches they've been through now in 2 years.
Well, you'll probably see that you'll find more coaches walking around with no necks. You know, when the Turks start swinging around the league like that, boy, they cut everyone's head off.
This start by the 49ers, 1-8, is the worst start that the franchise has had in its 29-year existence. 2nd and 8. Farrell to about the 45, and then Frank Reed, number 28.
A whole host of tacklers over there, Frank. That's what you call good defense. Gang tackling on good runners. The only way to bring them down.
Can't miss Reed. He's got his number twice there on the front of his uniform.
So he doesn't forget it.
He had a sensational night, of course, for the Falcons the other night against the Los Angeles Rams. But you're right, they're not blitzing nearly as much as they did last Monday night. Farrell is the leading rusher in the ball game right now with that figure. Third down. 7 needed for the first down.
Farrell has 17 attempts for 60 yards this afternoon for the 49er.
San Francisco trailing 7-3. Little conference in the sideline involving the Atlanta quarterbacks, Bartkowski, June Jones, and Scott Hunter. Third down, 7. Freddie Solomon can't hold it. At the 35-yard line. You got to complete more than one pass to win a football game, I would think. That's 1 out of 10 now.
He's only gone to his tight end one time this afternoon. That was on the first play of the ball game with Kenny McAfee, who dropped that football and has not come back to him at all. Billy Rickman now back for single safety.
Connell waiting. 8 men on the line of scrimmage for the Falcons. High snap, almost got away from Connell. Did a good job bringing it down. Fair catch is signaled by Rickman at the 15-yard line. So the Falcons will take over with 6 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the third period. Atlanta leading 7-3.
Today, you'll turn a mountain of canvas and a truckload of living dynamite into one of the world's oldest fantasies, the circus. And together with every man and beast you've got, you'll haul and shove and shape that mountain until you finally reach the moment that says it's done. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Falcon cheerleaders. No fancy names. That's all they call them, the Falcon cheerleaders.
One of the more interesting parts of this football game so far.
Now, John. First down from the 15-yard line for the Atlanta Falcons. As they keep it on the ground. That's Ricky Patton. Played at Jackson State. Place that Walter Payton played at.
Updating the Green Bay Philadelphia game. Philadelphia's ahead 10-3 in the third period. You know, Frank, we may see a change in quarterbacks for the 49ers as we progress in the ball game. Scott Bull, who has not thrown a pass all season long for the 49ers, we possibly could see him maybe in the third and later in the fourth quarter.
Second down, 7. Bartkowski. Nice diving catch. Little shoot-top job there by Alfred Jackson. Jackson caught 4 for 113 yards against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, including one long bomb. You might imagine last year in Texas, of course, he was overshadowed a bit by the running game and Earl Campbell. That's close enough for measurement, which we're in the process of doing right now. That's how much the Falcons need for the first down. Not much at all. Steve DeBerg and Scott Bull on the bench. I think that's O'Connor. No, I don't believe it is O'Connor. I'll take it back. Falcons just short of the first down. Third down in a matter of inches. Bing and Patton are the setbacks. Ricky Patton, the rookie, trying to get outside and pick up the first down, and I don't believe he got it.
There's a flag thrown on a play number 24. Grabbed the flag before it hit the ground for the 49ers. I guess it's going against the 49ers. I kind of question that play, Frank. Everyone's up close and trying to get to the outside when you need to keep control of the football.
Personal foul against San Francisco, so it looked like the 49ers had held him. And the foul, of course, be a 15-yarder. And the automatic first down at the 40-yard line. Here's the call by Fred Silva.
Defense, number 75. Unnecessary roughness. First down.
That's 5 penalties for 54 yards against the 49ers.
That's Gallagher. Ed Gallagher, the defensive lineman. Puts the nose of the football just inside the 40-yard line. 4:59 left in the third period. First and 10. Wallace Francis, number 89, in motion. Long count play by Bartkowski. Again, excellent protection. And not a very good throw. And the fans respond with a few boos from above.
Bartkowski's not moving into the ball, Frank. He's staying back there flat-footed and trying to give it all arm motion. If you're going to throw that ball out to that sideline, that's 15, 25 yards away. You have to move into the football with some power. He has not done that, or did not do that on that particular throw.
Second and 10. Falcons driving for what would be their 4th victory in a row and their longest win streak since 1973. That's the year that we were here for the Dallas-Atlanta game, your first game ever as a CBS analyst, as a matter of fact.
I don't even want to talk about it. You got $5 from me on that, didn't you?
That's because you got a short memory, that's all. Here's Bartkowski. Nice throw this time. And Francis makes the grab at the 46-yard line at San Francisco. Anthony Leonard drags him out of bounds.
And let's watch Bartkowski on this throw as he goes back and sets in the pocket. Looks for his receiver. Now he moves right into the football. The difference in the throwing of the football right there. Right on target, a fine reception, fine throw, and excellent protection by the offensive line.
And a first down for the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 46-yard line. Falcons have a pretty decent drive going here. This started back at the 16-yard line following Mike Connell's last punt.
Bartkowski 10 of 20 for 103 yards.
The fake to Patton. Bartkowski waiting for Bubba Bean to clear, and Bean with a super diving catch extending all the way Pulls it down at the 40-yard line. Ed Bradley makes the stop. Excellent catch.
Now watch this throw. Now he's flat-footed right here, and he just throws it. All arm motion. Woo! Look at the catch by Bean.
Not bad at all.
That's what makes quarterbacks look extremely good, Frank.
To the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. He'll be close to the first down. Maybe a little bit short, but maybe close enough for measurement. Joe Harris making the stop. Now let's see about this one. 3 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in the third period. That was a second down play. That's short. Third down and less than a foot needed for the first down.
St. Louis 20, New York Giants 3 in the third period. That could be 2 in a row for the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Rodas on a 1-yard run. Point after touchdown was blocked, and the field goal by Joe Danello.
They were down 20-0 till they got that field goal by Danello. Pittsburgh now has come out in front of New Orleans, but the Saints are giving them a battle up in Pittsburgh. 13-7. Third down here. Foot needed for the first down. Falcons at the 49er 36-yard line. The fake to Patton. Bartkowski throws. Open at the 10. 5. Touchdown.
Even I like that one.
37 yards on the touchdown play, and he was wide open.
Got everybody up in a line of scrimmage. A fine fake by Bartkowski to the offensive back. There's the throw. Excellent reception, and it's all over but the shouting right here. Chuck Chris, number 24, the last man to try to make the tackle. Excellent call, and a fine throw. And here you see a happy Steve Bartkowski on the sidelines.
Bartkowski has thrown for a touchdown and run in the other one, and a quarterback sneak from 1 yard away. Mazzetti on to try the extra point. Didn't play ricochet this time. So the Falcons strike suddenly on the bomb. Wallace Francis on the receiving end of that 37-yard aerial from Steve Bartkowski, and the Falcons have a little breathing room now. 14-3 with 3:24 left to play in the third period. Tomorrow night on CBS, we'll take you to WKRP in Cincinnati, just getting to be everybody's favorite radio station. Hilarious new comedy. Then People, our old friend Phyllis George will be around, along with some friends of hers, such as Liza Minnelli, Bonnie Franklin, and Guillermo Vilas. MASH one day at a time, and Lou Grant round out one of the great Monday lineups. Enjoy them all right here on CBS. Paul Hofer, number 36, is the deep man for the San Francisco 49ers. Jubilant crowd right now with New Orleans trailing Pittsburgh. If the Falcons win this one, they move into undisputed possession of second place. They're 2 games behind the Rams, and the Rams play Tampa in Los Angeles later this afternoon. Here's Mazzetti. Nice kick. Hofer at the goal line. Out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Excellent return. 40-yard line for Hofer, who showed great balance and was finally shoved out of bounds by Ernie Jackson. 39 yards on the kickoff return. Falcons scoring drive, and a fine drive it was, covered 84 yards. You like that 3rd and 1 call, huh?
That was a beautiful call. Had them all sucked up very, very tight. Even the defensive back came up, and Wallace was out there all by himself. Easy throw, too. He could even almost handed it to him.
San Francisco, pretty good field position after that fine kickoff return by Hofer. Knows that the ball is just inside their 40-yard line. Farrell slips and falls. Gets up and tries to go, gets to the 42. A couple of yards in the play, and then Greg Brazina number 50, is there to make the stop, along with McLean, number 52. Don't forget Dallas and Miami next on most of these CBS stations. Not all of you will be seeing that second game. That will not be seen, for example, in Atlanta. One of the NFL rules, when a team is at home, we're allowed to show you just one game on that day. And of course, this is the one the fans in Atlanta are watching, since it is a sellout. On 2nd and 8, DeBerg. Sideline throw hits McAfee. We got a marker. Behind the line of scrimmage, Frank Reed on the stop. Ken McAfee. Former Notre Damer. Penalty is against San Francisco. It's going to be holding.
McAfee having a few words down there with Reed. And that's the second pass that was thrown to McAfee this afternoon. The first one I mentioned was dropped earlier.
Let's see who this one's against.
Has to be
offense, holding, number 56, 2nd down.
Quillen, the center.
He's got a good shot of his jersey right there. 6 penalty on 64 yards against the 49ers.
That moves him back 10 to the 31-yard line. Second and 20. DeBerg. Had a chance to poke it once, and that was it. Robert Pennywell, number 59, the middle linebacker, blitzing on the play.
Again, DeBerg not setting very, very deeply. And the defensive line being able to penetrate and get right into him.
Second sack by the Atlanta defense. Pennywell, who was drafted originally by the 49ers, released, then picked up by the Falcons. He left training camp last year, decided he wanted out of football, and then changed his mind. And the Falcons are happy he did, because he's beaten out Ralph Ortega, the veteran, for the middle linebacker spot. 3rd down. 25 needed for the first down. 49ers back at their 24, rushes on DeBerg. He's going to have to run it. Goes out of bounds at the 26. Fulton Kuykendall, number 54. On the tackle is the young San Francisco quarterback. Heads across the field. A lot of pursuit. Falcons defense really comes after you.
No place to go, get out of bounds and hide.
All right, Connell in to do the punting, standing back at his 10-yard line. Rickman is the deep man for the Atlanta Falcons. Got a minute and a half left in the 3rd period. High kick, fair catch is signaled by one of the short men. Woo! Glaze 7th punt of the day for Connell, 32 yards, a short one, and watch this.
Watch this block by Bias right there. Oh, he jumps over top of him. I don't think Bias even touched him, but watch out. He really gets it on the back. He's an innocent bystander.
That was Moore, number 53.
I'd give him about a +3 on that dive, wouldn't you?
I would say. 6.3 degree of difficulty. Falcons 1st and 10 at their 42-yard line, and Barkowski wants to throw it some more. Has Jim Mitchell, the tight end, at the 40, 45. Mitchell bumped out of bounds near midfield. Picked up about 7. Joe Harris, number 50. Leonard, number 42, in the stop. Crowd has suddenly come alive here in the latter stages of the 3rd period. I think both sides were lulling him to sleep earlier in this quarter until that Falcon touchdown a moment ago.
Barkowski 13 for 23 for 146 yards.
Ball is at midfield. Second and 2. Patton. Dropped the football. Who got it? San Francisco recovers the fumble. Ed Gallagher, number 75, fell on the ball.
There's the pitch going to the outside. Good blocker in front of him, just can't get anywhere. They played good defense on that, some good pursuit coming around. There's the fumble as he tried to change hands. Chuck Chris, number 24, making the tackle. Ed Gallagher, number 75, picking up the football to recover for San Francisco.
49ers have the ball on their own 46-yard line. They haven't been across the 50 since halftime, have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't shown much offense.
DeBerg with the screen out to Elmo Boyd. And Boyd is dropped at the 39-yard line. Rick Bias, number 38, Brazina, number 50.
Well, they got it now. Brazina played that play extremely well. Back coming up was actually the one who forced it, was able to Brazina to get over for. It was a quick screen to the outside, which never actually got off the ground. Boyd with a loose jersey.
7 on the play. It'll be second down and 17. Falcons last year, number 1 in the NFL in pass defense and number 2 defensive football team in the game.
Look at this one. New Orleans 14 goes ahead of Pittsburgh 13 in the fourth quarter. Tony Galbraith on a 5-yard run.
That would have to be your big upset if they hang on to win that one. Boy, I'll tell you, the Falcons are starting to hit like they hit Monday night. Greg Brazina and Jeff Morrow with a real solid pop at the line of scrimmage.
Show you how well this defense is playing. DeBerg is 2 of 11 for 0 yardage.
That's
Watch
Hofer.
this shot right there.
It's the old sandwich play, right?
Make mine pastrami on rye.
There's the gun, indicating the period has come to an end. That, my friends, the end of the third quarter from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with the score, Atlanta 14, San Francisco 3. We now pause for a word from your local station.
This Sunday on Kaz.
There's been an inmate takeover at your old prison. The prisoners have asked for you to be a go-between.
We'll find out which side you're on. I'm one of you!
This is CBS.
He was an embittered man who had lost his family and his faith until he was drawn into the passion, the fury, and the holiness of the Word. David Jansen, James Whitmore, Florinda Vulcan, and Geraldine Chaplin seek the answer. A hoax or a miracle? The Word, starting Sunday, November 12th.
Well, that's the 49ers quandary, 3rd and long from their own 39-yard line. As we head into the final period of play here at Atlanta, Falcons leading 14-3. Steve DeBerg slips and falls. Going back from center, Wilson Famuina there to officially get credit for the sack. That was more of a slip than anything else.
Didn't see anything back there except that maybe that blade of grass was a little high for him.
Think the grass got him?
Sometimes does that.
Connell in to do the punting. Fourth down and 26. Falcons with 8 men on the line of scrimmage with a rush. Looks like they're going to play return. Rickman, good punt. Way back at the 22. Looking for some place to go. Gets to the 24. Mike Baldassin, 52. On the stop, timeout here with 14 minutes, 18 seconds left in the game. That punt covered 45 yards.
The financial capital of America. Home to hundreds of investment firms. But whose thinking is sought by corporations and governments? Who is quoted almost every day in America's business press? Yet who always has time to help any investor of any size? You know who. There are lots of investment firms, but there's only one, Merrill Lynch.
A new Ford Pinto for $79. A new design for a little American workhorse. New up here, new back here, new in here, and it's loaded. Bucket seats, standard. AM radio and electronic ignition, standard. 2.3-liter engine, standard. Electric rear window defroster, standard. Rack and pinion steering, standard. Front disc brakes, standard. At this low price, the spanking new 79 Pinto at your Ford dealer.
Atlanta has the football at its own 24-yard line as we go back to play 1st and 10 through 3 quarters. Interesting statistic here. San Francisco's total offense, 99 yards, all of it rushing. They have 0 yards passing. Ray Strong, a rookie, has come into the backfield for Atlanta. Bartkowski under pressure. Out to the 25, to the 30. Pickup of 6 on the play. Dan Bunz, the middle linebacker, number 57. Making the stop.
You know, Frank, Steve DeBerg last week against Washington had actually a real good day. He had 19 of 33 for 215 yards. He did suffer 3 interceptions against him, but Washington has a very fine defensive football team as well. They just did not seem to be able to get off on track here this afternoon. So he is capable of throwing the football.
2nd and 4. Falcons at their 30-yard line. Bartkowski with the straight handoff. Will be close to a first down as Ricky Patton, number 33. Stopped by Dan Bunz and by Jim Webb. First down for Atlanta. Patton, number 33, and Ray Strong, number 25. Both rookies in the backfield now, coupled with Bartkowski. Both good prospects and both low-round draft choices. In fact, they both were picked in the same round, the 10th round. Strong played at Nevada, Las Vegas, and Patton, as we mentioned, played at Jackson State, Walter Payton's alma mater. Patton trying to get outside. Little bit of running room up to the 40-yard line. That's close to 5 yards. Ed Bradley, number 54, on the stop in front of the Falcon bench. Hey, people in this town are wound up. Atlanta has been starved for a winner in any sport. And, of course, the Atlanta Flames hockey team has started off tremendously. Falcons are doing well. Basketball team isn't doing bad.
Well, you know, Frank, they used to have sellouts here when they first came into the league, and they played so poorly over the years that the attendance started dwindling down, and now they're working on their 4th, I believe, or 5th straight sellout for this home season. So they're getting back into people's blood. People really are taking to the Falcons once again.
2nd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Nice fake by Bartkowski, but it didn't fake the right people as the blitz was on, and Bob Jury, number 26, blew through there from the 49ers secondary to make the sack. Cedric Hartman, number 86, also in on the tackle.
Here they come from the outside. There really is no one there to block number 26 coming. The backs are going away from him. He has no coverage, no responsibility. The tight end is being held in by the defensive end, and he's home free. There's no one there to pick him up. It's just one of those things. He guessed with him, guessed right, and was able to get Bartkowski and knock him down.
Alfred Jackson, number 85, disappearing into the offensive huddle with the play from Coach Lehman Bennett. It is 3rd down and 16. Atlanta at its 29-yard line, leading 14-3 here in the final period. 49ers trying to come up with a big play to turn things around. Good protection for Bartkowski. Nice try, but it wasn't enough. The intended pass receiver was Rickman in front of the Falcon bench at the 45-yard line. That's a 4th period score, and as we mentioned earlier, we got a report that Fran Tarkenton was shaken up early in that game, but apparently he's come back in.
He's thrown one to Sammy White for 21 yards and a touchdown, and Chuck Foreman has 1 yard for a touchdown. So that puts him ahead, 17-7.
I think Detroit's the only team in the league with more rookies than San Francisco. They have 17. That's Anthony Leonard, standing back in his 35, anticipating the punt from John James. Hadn't been one of James' better afternoons, actually. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Here they come. Flag down. Penalty marker thrown at the line. 49ers may have gotten off, the Falcons may have gotten off the line of scrimmage too quickly, as Leonard made the fair catch at the 36-yard line. It's against Atlanta, offside. So the option now rests with San Francisco. Do they want the ball at their 35? Or will they make the Falcons do it again from 5 yards deeper? Should be the 24-yard line. That option is being explained right now to Keith Fonhorst, number 71, the big tackle. He takes a look at the bench. Connor says we'll decline.
55, offside, refused. First down.
Ralph Ortega. Offside. Timeout here with 11 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the football game, and the Falcons leading the 49ers 14-3.
Zenith announces a breakthrough. System 3. System 3. The best Zenith ever. The best ever. A brand new picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. And an all-new modular chassis. All new. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. The most reliable. Zenith. System 3. System 3. It's the best Zenith ever.
All kinds of people, more than a million a day, keep their lives moving on by making a stop along the way. And go, the stop that keeps America going.
Every day, over 1 million people depend on Gulf for everything from gasolines and motor oils to a full line of quality Cruisemaster tires, batteries, and accessories. Stop at Gulf. We'll help you get where you're going.
Go, the stop that keeps America going.
Next Sunday on CBS Sports, see NFL doubleheader action. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Seattle leading Chicago in the third period. Pretty close football game.
I believe Seattle's here to stay, don't you? 21-16.
Boy, they can score points. 1st and 10, San Francisco at its 36-yard line. 11 minutes left in the game. DeBerg under a big rush. Throws on the run, trying to hit Boyd at the 45-yard line. Boyd, one of the 49ers' top draft choices last year, missed all of last season with an injury. And when Terry LeCount was injured earlier this year, he moved into a starting role.
I think that's about 4 drop balls that 49ers have had. I believe Boyd has had 2 of them. One on the quick slant coming across the middle, and then this one. Lack of concentration.
What do you tell the receiver when he comes back into the huddle after he drops an obvious pass?
Catch it.
That's all?
Well, we're not permitted to use such language on the air.
I figured it'd be a little more descriptive than that.
There's not much you can say. There's, you try to get there as many times as possible, and if they keep dropping them, they don't play too long.
2nd and 10. Farrell, the only setback with DeBerg, lost the ball. Who's got it? Recovered by the Falcons. Greg Brazina, number 50, fell on the football as DeBerg had trouble pulling away from the center.
He never really gets the ball from the center. Then it's hard for him to locate it. Doesn't know where it is. People out there kicking it around. DeBerg had a shot at it right there, but Brazina comes up with the football. Greg Brazina, one of the outstanding linebackers for the Atlanta Falcons.
The guy's been around a long time. Defense has become the watchword here in Atlanta. And the Falcons certainly can be proud of their defense. One of the best in the National Football League.
Talk about Seattle scoring. There they went ahead again, 28-16. Sherman Smith on a 6-yard run.
Falcons are at the 49er 27. They turned the first 49er turnover into a touchdown in the second period. Bartkowski trying to capitalize. Flag is down as he got the pass off to Mitchell. And Mitchell got back to about the line of scrimmage. And we may have had a fumble, and it looks like the 49ers got it. Penalty is against the Falcons. 49ers obviously will decline because they get the football right back.
There's a play here. Right there's the hit. There comes Mitchell picking up the football. Let's watch him get hit and lose the ball. Boom, right there as you see him taking out. Joe Harris, number 50, just stripped the ball away from Mitchell. And then picked it up, recovered a fumble.
That's not bad.
Just a little tit for tat.
Do it all. So we're right back where we started. 49ers get it 1st and 10 at their 29. All that did was eat another 30 seconds up off the clock. for 36, Farrell 38 the setbacks. 49ers with 0 yards passing. That's a backward pass. That's a free ball.
That's a free ball.
It was finally picked up by the Falcons.
Oh, that's a fault on one of that defensive men. Didn't realize that ball was thrown back. Keith Farnhorst was back there. And I believe he didn't realize the ball was a backward pass. He should have picked it up. Let's take a look. There's the ball being thrown backward. That is a free ball right now. It's number 54 who should have fallen on the ball. Fulton Kuykendall. Didn't realize it.
They say it was kicked out of bounds before anybody got it, I guess. So that means it will revert to the San Francisco 49ers, and Kuykendall's kicking himself a little bit mentally.
Cleveland 7, Houston nothing in the second period.
49ers are back on their 15-yard line. Big hole for Hofer. Frank Reed and Tom Pridemore on the stop, and then Brezina shot into the picture from the backside, gave him a little nudge.
Good offensive blocking at the point of attack. Ayers and Farnhorst opening up a big hole for Hooper.
3rd down and 11 from the 28-yard line. So the 49ers are about back where they started on this series. They're spinning their wheels. The Bergs now completed 2 out of 12, still for 0 yardage. Solomon wide to the right side. Elmo Boyd is split to the left. O.J. Simpson out of the lineup with a possible shoulder separation. Intercepted. That could be 6 points for Frank Reed. Down to the 10-yard line, to the 5, and out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Frank, here's what happens when you look at that receiver all the way downfield. Defensive back just playing the eyes of the quarterback. Interception all the way. Frank Reed on a fine catch, a fine read of the quarterback's eyes, knowing where he's going to throw it, drifting into the area.
Farnhurst saving the touchdown, knocking him out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal to go. 3rd turnover caused by this opportunistic Atlanta defense. And they give the ball to the offense this time in excellent position. And Atlanta now with a chance to put it away with 9.5 minutes to go. Double tight end setup. James Wright is in there along with Mitchell. Bartkowski hands to Standback. Gets a yard to the 2. Number 1 set of running backs in there once again. Bubba Bean and Haskell Standback, who have been spelled for a while by Strong and by Patton. Francis comes out of the game, and Albert Jackson back into the huddle. Second and goal to go. Officials have it marked at the 3, so let's call it no gain on that first play. Bartkowski rolling out, looking for Bean. Intercepted in the end zone. Dan Bunz, number 57, the middle linebacker, and the 49ers get it back.
Let's take a look at it as the play action. Bartkowski going to the outside, not having anyone to throw the football. Tries to get it back deep back there, and that was one heck of an interception by Bunz, number 57.
Tremendous leap by Bunz at the goal line, but we may have had a penalty. See what this is about. I didn't see the flag. It's against the 49ers. Half the distance to the goal, and here's the call by the referee, Fred Silva.
50, defense, personal foul, roughing the passer, 1st down.
Joe Harris.
He's upset.
The San Francisco linebacker really upset. That moves the ball down to the 1-yard line. Automatic 1st down. Falcons in excellent position here. Bubba Bean scores.
That's what Watch the move by Bubba Bean right here. Goes in, good move and a fine block right here. As you see him starting going into the inside and bouncing outside. Defensive back committed himself to the inside. Stand back on a fine block to break Bubba Bean back outside.
So a big break for the Falcons as the interception is voided on the personal foul call, roughing the passer on Harris. Atlanta gets a second opportunity, and Mazzetti down to try the extra point, which will make it 21-3. It's there. So Atlanta has taken a commanding lead here as they're on their way to their 6th victory of the 1978 season.
We start with good fresh chicken, like we know we should.
11 herbs and spices, make it finger-licking good.
We don't freeze roll or chop it. It's chicken, nothing more.
That's a real good reason why smart folks come here more. It's so nice to feel so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Ford introduces a new wagon for the American road. The all-new LTD Country Squire for $79. A new wagon with more driver convenience, more handling ease, more window area, and more passenger room than last year's Country Squire.
This land is your land, this land is my land.
The all-new Ford LTD Country Squire for $79. See it at your Ford dealer now.
Hi, I'm Coach Sam Rutigliano of the Cleveland Browns, and I hope you'll do it in the American way on Election Day. Go to the polls Tuesday and vote for the candidate of your choice.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. There's Bubba Bean saying hi to all the folks back home.
And we have an update on the Pittsburgh-New Orleans ball game as Bradshaw has thrown a 24-yard touchdown pass to Rocky Bleier, his second of the day.
Deep man is Williams. Dave Williams at the 10 out to the 20-yard line and stopped at the 24. Of course, a New Orleans loss would be good news to the Falcon fans because coming into this game, Atlanta and New Orleans were tied for second place in the Western Division with identical marks of 5 wins against 4 losses. And if Atlanta wins this one and New Orleans loses, they move into undisputed possession of second place, 2 games behind the Rams, pending, of course, the outcome of the Rams game later today against Tampa. One of the Falcons shaken up on the play. Number 77 is Edgar Fields, second-year man from Texas A&M, fine specialty team player for the Falcons. I would say Atlanta's got things pretty under control here, wouldn't you?
I think they're in good shape. In fact, we see some people starting to depart from the stadium already, trying to beat the traffic, I'm sure, Frank.
Again, a reminder that Dallas-Miami follows this game on most of these CBS stations. Steve DeBerg has to throw the football now. Paul Seal, number 85, who has seen little action thus far this afternoon, out of bounds after making the reception. That's going to put DeBerg in the plus category for the first time this afternoon in passing yardage.
Well, he's got 2 for 12.
That's his third down. 3 out of 13.
3 out of 13 we'd have, huh?
Second down 4. 49ers at their 30-yard line. A lot of pressure on DeBerg as he delivers the football and almost has it picked off. That got you so excited you almost lost the program over the edge.
I thought he saw 6 points on that. He came right up there and the ball went right through his arms.
Say hello to June Jones.
Junie's warming up. I believe he'll probably play the last part of this fourth quarter. See his statistics: 26 for 62 for 291 yards, and he played a very fine football game, subbing for Bartkowski in the Ram ball game. Frank came in and drove the team down and was enabled Mazzetti to come up and kick those field goals.
Third down 4. 49ers at their 30. Blitz is on, and DeBerg really has to hustle to get the pass away, but it's incomplete. I understand that we can report that Alex Hawkins is alive and well and living in Atlanta.
He's well, and you're in the house that the Hawk built.
This is it, huh?
This is it. Third down conversion is 2 for 11 for the 49ers. Not a very good percentage.
Connell in to do the punting. Rickman is deep, number 82. Shanked this one a bit. Well, I believe it was touched by Atlanta, so he best fall on it. Rick Byers, number 38. Falcons will get the ball at their 37-yard line with 8 minutes and 16 seconds left to play. By the way, in that New Orleans-Pittsburgh game, less than 2 minutes to go in that contest. So the Falcons lead the 49ers 21-3 after that 32-yard punt.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of
Did Frank burn the trout yet?
No, but we're ready.
Okay, you guys, knock it off. I don't believe it. And a little something to go with it.
Lowenbrow.
Lowenbrow. And you guys don't deserve it, but my trout does.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well?
Frank, we apologize. The beer's terrific.
We're not exactly alike. I'm wearing JCPenney Plain Pockets jeans, and I'm wearing the world's best-selling jeans. My jeans are made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. And mine have this fancy stitching on the back pocket. But Plain Pockets only cost you $10. JCPenney Plain Pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price. I'll buy lunch.
A tennis star who's into another racket. A preacher with some exotic ideas. A tearful Phyllis George. An earful of Bonnie Franklin and Liza Minnelli. All on People Monday night.
That's the new quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Number 14, June Jones, has come on. Probably a smart move in view of the fact they've got things pretty well under control. And Bartkowski with that tender shoulder. They don't want to certainly risk losing him for a long period of time with the game pretty well put away.
Well, I think it's a mistake a lot of coaches make, that they don't play the second-team quarterback enough, especially when you're ahead by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and give him as much experience as you possibly can.
Ricky Patton looking for some running room, and he found it up the middle. It's really out to the 45, almost a first down.
Excuse me, Frank, and interrupt. That's a situation that Baltimore's got themselves in over the last 4 years. Burt Jones has played just about every play for 4 years, and then now he's been hurt for the whole season, and they don't have an experienced quarterback to take his place, and they've been hurting all year long.
Of course, you always had Mr. Morrow around.
We had somebody who had tremendous experience like Earl Morrow and did a fine job. Jimmy Mitchell is now out of the ball game. James Wright, number 83, in at tight end.
2nd and 2. Falcons at their 45. Now would like to run the clock down some. We get a flag. 49ers had faked the blitz. Ray Strong on the carry. And the 49ers may have been offside. Take a look at it.
Little over anxious at this point.
Stan Buns, the middle linebacker, 57.
He's going to be a fine one, too. They're very high on Buns as the middle linebacker. Has been doing a fine job this afternoon. He thought he had the cadence time just perfectly, but they were not able to do it.
Holding, defense, offside, offset, 2nd down.
So the Falcons guilty of holding, 49ers offside, offsetting penalties. We play it over, 2nd down and 2. Falcons at their 45-yard line. 49ers have 3 straight home games following this one. St. Louis, Los Angeles. And they play Pittsburgh. That'll be a Monday night game. Boy, the Cardinals have started to come back now. And the Rams. Pittsburgh doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't. Pittsburgh's going to be a tough football team all year long.
Fred O'Connor, of course, trying to put his best foot forward and perhaps with a strong showing in the last part of the season, get that interim removed from his name.
Well, we wish him well. He has to do something with that offensive team.
Again, Ray Strong in trouble. Bob Jury trying to run him down. He's way back at the 30. Now decides to go up the middle. Well, he lost 7, but he could have lost 20 the way things were going. Joe Harris finally making the stop. That's one way to run the clock down.
You'd rather go straight ahead or almost straight ahead. Not too much laterally. Let's watch him right here. Can't get outside.
He ran 40 yards on his play.
Decides to come back. Junie Jones hits a man right there. Nothing over this side. Oh me, where am I going? Get down to the ground and save the yardage.
So the ball is spotted at the 40-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down instead of 2nd and 2. They now have 3rd down and 7. Make it 3rd and 6. Yep. Looked like the Falcons went into their pass protection a little bit early before the snap.
Now they're starting to lose concentration. To use one of those old sayings of Yogi Berra, the game's not over till it's over.
73. False start.
It's against Phil McKinley. Backup performer in the Falcons offensive line is this Atlanta offensive unit now, sprinkled with second teamers. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the game. 3rd down, 12. Let's go. June Jones, first pass attempt of the day. Throws a rainbow out there, and Rickman makes a great catch at the 40-yard line, and we get a penalty marker on the play.
I don't know what they're going to call right there. It was a fine throw by June Jones as he was afforded fine protection by his offensive line, as we can see. There's the throw over top of the defensive man's head. A fine catch by Rickman. And I don't know what the penalty may have been.
We'll find out in a moment from the referee, Fred Silva. Let's see if they bring it back. I don't believe so.
Defense pass interference, number 22, refused. 1st down.
Eddie Lewis, right cornerback on the defensive infraction.
Rickman is not a big guy at all. 5'11", 172. Every team seems to have one. Doesn't have great speed, doesn't have the great size, but has the good hands. And you saw a good example there.
Also has some good quickness, too. That was a very well-thrown ball by Junie Jones, as we saw it arched over top of Lewis, number 22, for the completion.
1st down at the San Francisco 37-yard line. Patton looking for some yardage, and we get another flag. Willie McCray and Joe Harris on the stop. Bartkowski finished the day 14 out of 26 for 160 yards and 1 interception. So he said it's not bad for a guy operating with a bad shoulder.
He came on strong in the second half, and that's what it takes. Mitch Francis was 4 catches for 75 yards and 1 touchdown. Rickman had 3 for 59. He's not finished yet.
This walk-off obviously will go against the Atlanta Falcons, and it's going to be a pretty good size one. Here's the call.
Offense, number 78, holding.
Mike Ken, rookie offensive tackle, number 1 draft choice of the Falcons this year. That's the 2nd time they've gotten him for holding. That's 11 penalties for 99 yards against the Falcons. 1st down and 20 at the San Francisco 47. Falcons trying to run the clock down here, leading 21-3. In the latter stages of the final period, June Jones out of the grasp of Wallace Francis. Anthony Leonard back defending. Well, that's a final score now. The Steelers come from behind and beat New Orleans, and that will knock New Orleans out of the 2nd place tie with Atlanta in the NFC West, with Atlanta scheduled to play at New Orleans next Sunday afternoon, which some of you will see. So that makes it even bigger victory for the Falcons this afternoon if they can hang on, leading 21-3 with 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. But you got to admit, I tell you, Saints are a much improved football team. And Archie Manning's having a great year.
Coach Dick Nolan's done a fine job down there with him. Archie is having a good year, and he's had about 6 or 7 different systems on him since he came into the game. Each couple years has been a change for him.
2nd and 20, big rush on Jones. They're trying to strip him of the football, and they may have done just that. Let's see. Happened at the 45-yard line. Let's see if the play had been whistled dead. I think he did lose the football, but the Falcons recovered. There it is. Dave Scott, number 70, fell on the ball as the 49ers stripped Jones of the ball. I'd need my calculator out to figure out this yardage on 3rd down. Let's see, they have to net.
Everybody go down to the green Plymouth and turn around.
That's
I'm going to throw it
right.
straight up in the air.
They have to get to the 27-yard line of San Francisco to pick up the first down. They're at their own 44. That's 3rd and 23, I believe. And again, we get a whistle before the snap and another penalty. Philadelphia upsets Green Bay. I think that'd have to be considered an upset, wouldn't it?
I think that would be. Philadelphia 10, Green Bay 3 at the big final.
Now, if Minnesota hangs on and beats Detroit, they're just a game behind the Packers in the NFC Central.
Offense, 66, false start.
Of course, then we have Dallas playing Green Bay next week, I believe, Frank.
That's right.
That could be a big ball game, and if Dallas wins that, then Minnesota wins next week, they become number 1, right?
Well, they'll be tied.
Tied at that time. So it's proving a pretty good race in that black and blue division.
Well, another 5 yards makes it 3rd and 28. Strong, caught by Harris, and thrown down at the 35-yard line. Loss on that play. But the clock keeps moving with 5 minutes left to play in the game. Here's a 4th period score. Buffalo sneaking up on New England.
New England 14, Buffalo 10. Joe Ferguson to Bob Chandler for 11 yards and a touchdown. Seattle 28, Chicago 22 in the 4th period. Walter Payton on a 7-yard run.
Our score, the Falcons 21, the 49ers 3. John James, number 6, in to do the punting. Leonard is deep, standing back at his 25. Fourth and 35. Nice high kick, fair catch at the 25-yard line by Anthony Leonard, and that's where the 49er offense will put the ball in play. So Atlanta firmly in command. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the game. The punt covered 47 yards.
These are 2 of today's newest razors. The one on the right is the new Norelco rechargeable rotary razor. This one has 2 blades and pivots up and down. The new Norelco 36 blades in 3 adjustable floating heads and a new shaving angle. Both give you a close shave. But the new Norelco rechargeable lets you walk away from soap and water. Of course, they do give you one thing Norelco doesn't. Gotcha. The new Norelco rechargeable rotary razor. Still no gotcha.
Announcing a whole new breed of Mustang for '79. The turbocharged Mustang from Ford. With the performance of an optional turbocharged engine that took Mustang from 0 to 50 in an average of 7.1 seconds. Precise handling from sports car features and more. Mustang Turbo in 3-door and 2-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
49ers have had one good drive in this football game. In case you joined us late, that was in the first period. They drove some 79 yards. Wound up settling for a field goal. That's Lehman Bennett, second-year head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Shortly after that, the 49ers lost O.J. Simpson for at least the day and possibly longer with a possible shoulder separation. Freddie Solomon on the receiving end of that pass at the 30-yard line. And with Simpson out of there, any offense the 49ers had, it looked like was just gone.
Well, they weren't moving the ball that well with him in there. DeBerg did not have a good day throwing the football. You really have to have both offense is going, your running attack and passing attack, if one of them bogs down and they really can concentrate on the other, you're really in a lot of trouble. And I believe that San Francisco is going to have to make some changes somewhere along the line in their offensive setup.
Pick up of 5 yards on that last play. It is 2nd down and 5, and DeBerg is hustled down by Vulcan Kuykendall.
Well, we got a good blitz, and Kuykendall has been all over the field this time. He's four times he's been knocked down. Here comes Kuykendall right here. Nobody picks him up. DeBerg never sees him, and he says, "Gotcha, baby."
Down he goes back at the 23-yard line. DeBerg is 4 out of 14 for the afternoon.
12 yards.
That is not going to do it.
No.
Total offense for the 49ers probably around 125 yards right now. And all but 12 yards of that has come on the ground. 3rd down, 13. Another penalty marker down. Well, those red shirts come after you. There's no question about that. Hofer on the handoff. Dewey McClain, pardon me, number 52. That's another sport, isn't it?
I think he plays organ for somebody.
3 minutes, 42 seconds left to play in the game. Offside penalty here against the Falcons.
They have them all up on that line of scrimmage. Look at there. Offside penalty. Not much to it. The defense has been swarming all afternoon. Played another outstanding game. Here you see the face mask grab. And that is a penalty.
27, offside, decline. 55, face mask, accepted, 1st down.
So it is a 1st down. There's Fred O'Connor learning what it's like to be a head coach in the NFL.
Just keep your neck inside your shirt, kid.
It's never that way at East Stroudsburg State. This is where he went to college. Fine pass completion there. Goes to Kenny Harrison. Rick Bias, number 38 on the stop. What are you giggling about?
Reed was having a conversation with the pass reception over there. Look, Pridemore, he's kind of walking around like he's in seventh heaven somewhere. There he is. Stick your head in there one too many times, you will hear a little birdie tweet, tweet, tweet.
Have you had that happen a time or two?
Yes, I have, once or twice.
Nice hand for the injured player who is Tom Pridemore, number 27, being helped off the field. Bob Glazebrook goes in for the Falcons.
Final, Minnesota 17, Detroit 7. Chuck Foreman on a 1-yard run.
It's a long year for the Lion fans, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. They have not played well at all season long. They've had some difficulties there. Monty Clark, though, is good. Fine coach. I'm sure he'll bring the Lions back.
1st and 10. San Francisco at its 38-yard line. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the game. Atlanta has it salted away, and this means 2nd place in the NFC West. DeBerg going long for Harrison. He made the catch. Oh, what a great catch at the 13-yard line. You talk about your concentration. Ken Harrison, 3rd-year man from SMU, and that indeed is worth seeing again.
Some good protection by the offensive line. There's a throw by DeBerg, and actually he trips before he catches the football. That's whether he tripped on his own foot or someone else's. Right there, he goes down for some unknown reason. Ernie Jackson, number 30, was the cornerback back there covering.
I believe this is the first time in the second half that the 49ers have been beyond midfield.
I think you are exactly right.
That's a 1st down at the 12-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Hofer and Farrell, the setbacks. The blitz is on, and DeBerg trying to fight it off. Penalty marker down. Harrison was the intended receiver, and Ernie Jackson, number 30, was back there with him, and we got a pass interference call on somebody.
I don't know. Jackson is looking kind of puzzled. Looked like he may have pushed, or someone pushed. Probably Jackson.
That's going to be against the Atlanta Falcons. Ernie Jackson, picked up in a trade from New Orleans.
Defense, illegal contact, number 30, 1st down.
move it down to the 7-yard line. That's not pass interference. That's the illegal contact rule, hitting a receiver beyond that 5-yard point.
Well, we have the final. New England 14, Buffalo 10. Joe Ferguson to Bob Chandler, 11-yard touchdown pass.
First and goal from the 7. Hofer at the 6-yard line. San Francisco trying to pick up at least a consolation touchdown here.
Atlanta's had 12 penalties for 104 yards. We've had a bunch of penalties this afternoon.
We have. Leading rusher in the ball game going to be Farrell, looks like.
We have 19 total penalties for 170 yards.
Farrell has 64 yards and 20 carries. Leading rusher for Atlanta, Patton, second stringer, has 33 yards in 10 carries. Second and goal from the 6. 2:23 left in the game. DeBerg rolling right. He's in trouble back there. Gets it away. Trying to hit Ken McAfee, the big tight end. Rookie from Notre Dame, and McAfee comes up swinging at Reed. Reed, number 28, was doing a bit of taunting back there. I think McAfee went for it. He bid for it, right? Took a swing. And
he missed. See if we can see it, because Reed takes off when McAfee comes up. Watch this. Some good defensive play back there, though. There's the throw. There's the defensive play right there. I'll see if we can catch this as Reed comes up. This is a funny spot.
Here's the call. It's going to go against Atlanta.
We have a dead ball foul on number 28, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Frank Reed.
He questioned McAfee's ancestry, no doubt. So half the distance to the goal. Moves the ball down to the 3-yard line. Third down, goal to go. Hofer hurdles into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Boy, that was some dive. He took off behind the line of scrimmage.
Fine play by Hofer, as you see him taking the ball for DeBerg and just following his interference up and over the top. Excellent dive.
Airborne for 4 yards. Hofer winds up in the end zone, and the 49ers have their first touchdown of the afternoon with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. So the big pass play from DeBerg to Kenny Harrison sets it up. Scott Bull will hold, and Ray Wershing to try the extra point, which would make it 21-10. Another penalty marker. Oh, we've had a ton. Let's see what this one's about.
The try was good. 72, San Francisco offside. Will be assessed on the kickoff.
Cleveland Elam, who was offside. That's all we've seen of Elam is a little bit on the specialty teams today.
That's it.
Came in, so be sure to stick around, because in the eyes of most folks, that's the headliner this week in the National Football League. Both teams needing a win rather badly because they're playing catch-up in their respective divisions. Miami in the AFC East trailing New England, and the Cowboys in the NFC East trailing the Redskins. Dennis Pearson will be the deep man, but the Falcons are looking for the onside kick from Wershing. They've got a lot of defensive backs, some of their quicker people up in midfield. 49ers shift their entire lineup over to the far side of the field with the exception of a couple of people. So the onside is coming. There it is. Got to go 10 yards. Scramble for the ball. Who got it? I believe Atlanta recovered. That's the indication from Rick Bias. Looked like Billy Rickman fell on the ball at about the 47-yard line in San Francisco's end of the field. I understand, Mr. Unitas, that you were voted last week into the University of Louisville Hall of Fame.
Yes, I was, Frank. It was a very nice honor. We had a very nice time down over the weekend. We even saw a good football game. Louisville kind of took it to William and Mary down there.
If you're in Louisville, can Canton be far behind?
Oh, it's probably a couple hundred miles.
Falcons trying to run out the clock. Give the ball to Mike Esposito, number 26. Cedric Hardman in on the stop. 2 minutes left to play in the game. Timeout called by the officials now as the 2-minute warning goes to both benches. We'll be back in Atlanta right after this.
The Computer Society. It's big news everywhere, and now it's in color TV. Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox. Computer Color 330, the all-electronic color system with 25% more lines of resolution. That means a sharper, crisper color picture than ever before possible. Touch-tune television with Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox.
Americans say inflation is the #1 national problem. Well, it's not surprising. We've had serious inflation for years now under both Democratic and Republican presidents. See, inflation is caused by too much government spending. That's why changing presidents doesn't help. You see, Congress is the arm of government responsible for spending, and they've got to be held accountable. Now, there's one thing we haven't tried in more years than you may think, a Republican Congress. This year, give a good hard look at your Republican congressional candidate. It could be your best chance to fight inflation.
Is there any significance to the fact that our producer would insist his credits go over the lovelies in the background in our director?
I don't know. It's probably call his attention to his name.
Certainly. I think it worked just the opposite, as a matter of fact. Marty Murphy, our engineer in charge here, and some of the other folks who have been kind enough to help us out in our coverage of the Atlanta-San Francisco game.
Another outstanding game by all the technical people.
2nd down, 6 as we get back to play. Atlanta with the football at the 43-yard line of San Francisco. George Franklin, number 40. Loss in the play as he was hit by Bob Jury. That's a 3rd period score. Browns and the Oilers down in the Astrodome.
Pastorini to Mike Barber for 52 yards and a TD. I say one thing for San Francisco, they still think they have a shot at winning this football game. They keep calling timeouts.
That ever make you wonder when you were behind by a lot why they would prolong the agony by calling timeouts?
Yes, it has, especially since I was cold and trying to get into the locker room.
I was wondering if it's that bad, as bad for the players as it was for the fans.
It is if it's chilly out there, I'll tell you that.
There's our timeout situation and our time left to play. Of course, you'd never know. You know, stranger things have happened than teams overcoming a 11-point deficit in 2 minutes.
Yes.
But the way San Francisco has been moving the football, you'd think it takes somewhat of a minor miracle.
Yes, their lack of offense this afternoon certainly is bewildering since they had such a fine ball game last week against the Washington Redskins.
3rd down, 15. Falcons obviously did not have the letdown that Lehman Bennett was worried about after their very emotional game against the Rams on Monday night. June Jones over the middle. Franklin got it at the 40, down to the 35, 1st down. George Franklin doing a little juggling act there. Eddie Lewis, number 22, making the stop, but that keeps the drive going and keeps the clock moving.
There it is, little play action pass. Junie Jones looks over to his right, hits Franklin coming, sneaking across the middle. Linebacker missed his coverage, buns right there as you see coming downfield. A fine catch and fine run by Franklin. 1st and 10. The Atlanta Falcons.
1 minute and 15 seconds left to play in the game and counting. 1st down at the 33-yard line of San Francisco. Falcons with a sweep this year over the 49ers will lead the all-time series now 15-10. They split last year. Both teams last year won away from home. Esposito taking his punishment on the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you that number 50, Joe Harris, he comes after you, doesn't he?
Yes, he's there to hit folks.
He has also a very active elbow.
He's one of those mean linebackers. Yes. I don't think he has any pads on that elbow either, does he?
I don't think so. Tough football player.
Offense, 68, false start. First down.
Brett Silva has had more airtime than we have.
And the Falcons have had 14 penalties for 112 yards. San Francisco, 8 penalties for 51 yards.
First down, 15. Ball is back at the 37-yard line. June Jones quarterbacking. Franklin in motion to the far side. The give is to Esposito. Willie McCray trying to break him in two. Let's see, somebody call time? At least it isn't cold, right?
No, it's been a beautiful day in Atlanta. Outstanding day. I'd take about 3 more months of this weather, won't even complain.
I think they want a little rain around here. Someone said that they've gone something like 24, 25 days without any rain in this area.
It's a little bit dry.
Jones going to come over to the near sideline and talk about it with Lehman Bennett. 11-point lead, 44 seconds to go. He looks at the clock. Bennett says, run the football, right?
Run the football on the ground.
Run that clock down.
Run it wide right, come back, run it wide left, tell the man to stay in bounds.
Fred O'Connor be back to the drawing board for the 49ers tomorrow.
As they not only have a bunch of new players, they have a bunch of new coaches we don't even know. I haven't seen anybody around this league at all.
They changed a couple of coaches this week. You know, Jimmy Carr left, or was fired, and is now with the Vikings. Picked up another job immediately as linebacker coach of the Vikings. And Dan Radakovich came back. Second down, 14. June Jones. 49ers going to call their last time out now. Stop the clock with 40 seconds to go. Well, you're back to Baltimore and back home to await the arrival of the 7th Unitas.
That's right. Sometime in December, first week in December, supposedly. You had a doctor the other day and said it was going to be early.
You realize 4 more and you can get your own team?
I just soon not think about it. They all have to go to college sometime. Imagine what it's going to cost by the time they get to be 18 or 19.
I'm in the midst of that, yes. I know what it costs.
What it costs.
Third down. 16 needed for the first down. Coming up will probably be the last play of the football game.
Another upset. New York 10. St. Louis 20. 2 in a row for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Giants hung in there rather gamely this season up until this point. They've had some problems. They lost at New Orleans last week, this week to St. Louis. And their wild card hopes are pretty well going glimmering. Third down. Now let's see what Jones is going to do. Going to run around a while. Take the loss as he drops back at the 50-yard line. I believe San Francisco is out of timeouts. But the clock is stopped with 35 seconds to go. Now they wind it. Here we go.
They'll stay in there, take the final 25. Assess a penalty.
Well, that clock will run down to about 5 seconds or so before they'll whistle the Falcons for delay of game. So they'll probably have to run one more play.
Stay in the huddle.
Fourth down. Well, that should take care of things. The Atlanta Falcons have won their 6th game of the year. They've moved into undisputed possession of second place in the NFC Western Division ahead of the New Orleans Saints, who were beaten by Pittsburgh, as they defeat San Francisco for the 2nd time this year, 21-10. Fred O'Connor coming by to shake hands with Lehman Bennett. And Atlanta and Bennett feel that they have a realistic chance to perhaps overtake the Rams, or at least are in good position now for a shot at the wild card spot in the National Football Conference. Final score, Atlanta 21, San Francisco 3. Frank Lieber along with John Unitas reminding you to stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.